Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Hello. We're back to Diddy. Hello, hello. I see Tipsy in here. Is it just me and Tipsy tonight? That's fine. It can just be us two. What's up, Tipsy? Hello, hello. I'm late. Oh, there's beautiful Mo. Hello, Mo. We'll take Mo too. What's up? It's late. It's later than usual. I know. I keep doing these late nights. But I'm determined to be caught up on the Diddy. I'm super behind on Karen Reed, but like I said, we're gonna have a Karen Reed marathon this week. Hello, Mo. Good to see you. Diddy. It's been crazy. I can't even believe it. I know Kid Cudi testified today, so we're gonna review day 8 and today. So day 8 and day 9, I believe. I was trying to think. I'm confused. No transcripts. So what I've been doing is just reading. I don't have them yet. Reading off of like a bunch of different websites, but I specifically have been liking CNN. I know a lot of people doing our inner city, or I believe it's Inner City Press. I know his are pretty cool too, and I do want to watch like the whole days of it, but it's so long, girl. It is so long. But maybe tomorrow I might stream. So we'll see. But anyways, thank you for being here. We're going to cover Diddy. Diddy trial, wild, wild, wild. And we're going to watch 2 clips. So I appreciate you for being here. Hi, MM Carr. Good to see you. You're here for the tea. Yeah, the tea is crazy. I hope you guys have been well. Thank you for being here. It's a little later than usual. But like I said, we're going to start with Diddy. Day 8, we're just going to read through all of this stuff. Let's see. How do you guys feel about this, by the way? And hello to all the new viewers. I always forget to introduce myself. I feel like the people that are always here for me, they're like my friends or I've known them, you know? So hello to all the new viewers and watchers and subbies. Hello, Fem. Hello. I know. I love that MM Clar's here. Thank you, MM Clar, for coming and hanging out with us. Let's see. So, yeah, this was yesterday, day 8, May 21st. Let's see. After hearing from 3 witnesses Wednesday, the jury in the Diddy Combs racketeering and trafficking trial was dismissed for the day. Here's what they heard after the lunch break. Don Hughes, psychologist. Don Hughes, a board-certified clinical and forensic psychologist, testified as a blind expert and provided the jury with information about DV, SA, and traumatic stress. Before the lunch break, Hughes testified that it's common for victims to stay in abusive relationships, that many victims will wait months, even years, before telling someone about what happened to them, and that trauma bond can make a victim unwillingly to leave, among other information about intimate partner violence. I love that. Defense attorney Jonathan Bach characterized Hughes as a biased professional witness and asked Hughes about training she gave to victim advocates who may need to testify in court. Hughes said she believes the group she was speaking to received a grant from the Department of Justice under the Violence Act Against Women Act. When Bach, I believe it is, asked if she had ever testified in the defense of a man accused of an SCX crime, she confirmed, saying, "I don't evaluate offenders." Bach, is it Bach or Botch? I don't know. Sorry. Asked Hughes about 6 meetings she had with prosecutors concerning her testimony, some of which have been since the trial started. Hughes and the prosecution have maintained that prosecutors have not discussed specifics of the case with her. Assistant U.S. Attorney Mitzi Steiner confirmed that Hughes has been retained as an expert witness by one of Sean Combs' defense attorneys in another case. Brian Steele. Bach said she worked with Steele but didn't testify as a witness in the case. I wonder what case that was, because Brian Steele was just an attorney for Young Thug. If you watch that trial, that was also wild. I would love to actually cover that sometime. Yay! Yes, thank you, Fem. Appreciate you. It's a little later, so hopefully people will sneak in. Let's see. George Kaplan, former executive assistant to Combs. George Kaplan, a former assistant to Combs, invoked his Fifth Amendment right to not testify earlier today on the grounds of a potential self-incrimination. But Judge Subramanian indicated he was going to sign an immunity order that would require Kaplan to testify. Kaplan testified he worked 80 to 100 hours a week, once working from morning until 7 a.m. the next day. He said he was paid about $125,000 and communicated with Combs daily, exchanging texts, calls, and emails multiple times a day about things he needed, which he included clothing or potentially food from somewhere, or rugs, or liquor, or an iPad, or a speaker. Kaplan testified Combs threatened his job almost monthly, once getting in his face for not getting the right thing from the store. When Combs traveled to various destinations such as New York, Miami, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., and Orlando, Kaplan would either fly on Combs' private jet with him or fly in advance on a commercial flight to set up Combs' hotel room. Wow. Kaplan said he was given a bag that had clothes, speakers, candles, liquor, baby oil, and lubricant in it. Thereafter, he bought the same items on a corporate card to prepare Diddy's room. Kaplan said he came to understand part of his role was protecting Diddy's image. Kaplan's understanding was that Diddy would have guests or a female partner to join him in the hotel rooms. He testified, after Diddy left the hotel room, Kaplan would enter and unpack Diddy's belongings and tidy the place up. Kaplan testified, typically there'd be sports drink bottles, liquor bottles, and baby oil strewn around the hotel room after Diddy left. Wow. On one occasion, he cleaned up a brown crystallized powder off of a countertop, Kaplan testified. Kaplan testified he picked up rugs for Combs with cash he gave him, once in Miami and once in LA. One time he picked up Molly, and the other time he didn't know what substance it was, he testified. Kaplan will continue testifying. Okay. So we know Kid Cudi is expected. This was yesterday, so Kid Cudi ended up testifying. This is so crazy. This is so crazy. If you're not familiar with the Diddy trial, which, hi, Irie. Irie, did I say that right? I hope so. Hello, Kiss Brian. Hello, Henry. I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for being here. Imagine the body fluids. Yuck, Clark. That's what I'm saying. This is horrid. And let's talk about Kid Cudi, Scott Mescudi. He blew up his car. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, that's a little too much. Talk about being angry. Like, he literally, there was a hole on the top of the car, I believe. And he blew it up. And Diddy was like threatening him and stuff too. I'm just like, day and night, right? Right, Bev? I'm just thinking, like, what kind of monster? Like, what kind of monster does that? Blows up his car. See, yeah, he's okay. Yeah, he's okay. He testified. Mm-hmm. But, you know, Kid Cudi was dating Cassie. That's why Diddy got so angry and decided to blow up his car. But let's get back to it. So this is Kid Cudi on the screen. Prosecutors plan to call 5 witnesses after George Kaplan tomorrow. Prosecutor Maureen Comey said she expects them to be relatively short witnesses and signaled that they could finish the day early. Kid Cudi, the rapper who had a brief relationship with Cassie Ventura, Combs' former girlfriend, is scheduled to testify after Kaplan. Former Combs assistant to continue testimony Thursday, and the jury was dismissed. The jury was dismissed for the day. George Kaplan, a former assistant to Sean Diddy Combs, will continue testifying. Okay. Kaplan testifies about times he picked up rugs for Combs. He recounted 2 times he said he picked up rugs on Combs' behalf. Again, once in Miami and LA. He said both times He got paid cash. The Molly part of my role was to protect his image. The baby oil everywhere. Yuck. Former assistant traveled with Combs and he set up the hotel rooms. Combs' ex-assistant says rapper frequently threatened his job. That sucks. Okay, George says that testified his former boss threatened his job almost monthly. Combs would remark that he wanted to be surrounded by the best, and those around him at the time were not performing at that level, Kaplan recalled. Sometimes Diddy was angry and other times motivational when he said it, Kaplan said. During Kaplan's first week for working for Diddy, he assigned Kaplan to find 1 gallon BPA free water bottle at Whole Foods. What? The store didn't have it, so he brought back 2 half-gallon bottles instead. Combs angrily told Kaplan he did not bring what he asked for. He was very close to my face, Kaplan said. Kaplan's daily communications with Diddy included requests for clothing, foods, rugs, multiple times a day about things he needed, which included clothing or potentially food and rugs. Combs hired a more polished security team in 2015. He hired a licensed security group in the second half of 2015. This group was more professional and more polished than Combs' former longtime security guards and seemed to have a lot of real-time training, quote unquote, Kaplan said. I do think that a lot of these times, like the security, I know they're there to obviously they're hired, for Diddy. That's their purpose for being there and having a job. But I feel like, why did nobody, they should have at least been the ones to maybe, I don't know, stop him and be like, hey, don't beat her. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe not. It's their boss. I get it. But I don't know. It just sucks that nobody said anything or did anything. At the time, it seems like even, the makeup artists were subjected to all of this and people didn't really speak out until Cassie spoke out. I guess the fear of Diddy, but I don't know. If I saw someone beating their girlfriend right in front of me, I don't think that I would be able to just stay quiet or not do anything personally. It's not that I'm being nosy and not minding my business, but don't be beating on your girlfriend in public or in front of people if you don't want the police called on you. I don't know. Just a theory. I don't know. Don't come for me. I couldn't die from inhaling too much baby oil. I never used it on either of my babies. This could be the reason Kim Porter got. Yes, Clark. I've been deep diving that situation. Melly investigates. That's what I'm going to do on that episode. There's so much to that. Right. Yeah, there's so much to that. I have questions about Kim Porter, Brittany Murphy, Aaliyah. I would like to hear from Blue Cantrell. I've said it in the previous lives. Where's Jay-Z at? Where's Ashton Kutcher? Where's Ellen? Why is everyone who was seen in these, pictures and stuff coming up with Diddy? Why is everyone quiet now? Even the Kardashians, I know, we're always hanging out with him. It's not that I'm saying they were involved. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, where's your friends at? Why aren't people speaking up? They're embarrassed. They want nothing to do with you, or they knew and didn't report it. So they're feeling like crap. You know what I mean? I feel like, I don't know. I do have one. Yeah. Let's see. Kaplan started at Combs Enterprise in 2013, later promoted to Combs executive assistant. I guess I have a lot of questions. You know what I mean? Diddy's been around in the music industry clearly, and I did grow up listening to Aaliyah and stuff. So this is just wild to me. And I think there's so much to it. But I don't know. I already feel that things are going on in the trial that shouldn't be going on. What's all this correspondence that keeps being filed at 10:45 at night? It's going to the judge. And it's wait, what do you like? Why? How is that even right? Like, it's a trial that should be on the docket. Like, I don't know if he's requested for all that stuff to be on the docket, but like, where's this correspondence going? Like, there's things already going on in this trial that I don't think they're a little shoddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're a little sketch. They're a little sus. Do I think Diddy will walk? I mean, I want to go that far. But I don't know. Oh yeah, DiCaprio. Oh yeah, we saw that. If you missed the last live I did, I think a night ago, we watched a clip, and it was a Diddy white party, and Leo was there. Yeah, not that he had anything to do with it. We're just saying, allegedly, he's seen in the video. We don't know anything else. Okay, let's move on. He worked 180 to 100 hours a week, says his assistant that was with him. $125,000. Wait, for a week? What? Is that true? Am I reading that right? That's a lot. Per week? For 100 hours. Yo, $125,000? I'm shook. Oh my gosh. So glad you're here, Startup Hunter. I've been waiting. Thanks for being here. Former Combs executive assistant George Kaplan takes the stand. Okay, so this is him. This is George Kaplan. Arrived to the Manhattan Federal Court on Wednesday. Wow. Don Hughes is off the stand. Okay, yeah, we already read that. Psychologist retained by Combs' defense attorney in separate case. And her final question on redirect, Assistant Attorney Mitzi Steiner confirmed that the psychologist, Don Hughes, had been retained as an expert witness. Hughes had worked with Brian Steele in the past. Oh yeah, we read that, but I would like to know which trial that was. Defense attorney Jonathan Bach has finished cross-examining psychologist Don Hughes. Attorney Mitzi Steiner is back up for redirect examination of Hughes. On redirect, Steiner confirmed with Hughes that the psychologist evaluated only court filings that were related to her testimony, and any filings she reviewed were redacted so that she couldn't read any facts of the case. Does she mean in reference to the Diddy case or the past case? I'm confused. Defense attorney and prosecutors sidebar about psychologist's testimony. Defense attorneys and prosecutors have been having a couple lengthy sidebars over defense attorney Jonathan Bach's cross-examination of Don Hughes. Bach asked her about 6 meetings she had with prosecutors concerning her testimony, some of which have been since the trial started. Hughes maintained that the prosecutors have not discussed specifics of the case with her. Psychologist never testified in the defense of men accused of SEX crimes. She says she doesn't evaluate offenders. Psychologist is asked about training she gave to victim advocates. With Judge Subramanian having ruled that he can do so, defense attorney Jonathan Bach is now asking Don Hughes about training she gave to the domestic abuse victim advocates who needed to testify in court. When asked, Hughes said she believes the group she was speaking to received a grant from the Department of Justice under the act. Okay, defense characterizes psychologist as biased professional witness. Defense attorney Jonathan says psychologist Dawn is someone who makes most of her money as a professional witness and comes to the stand with a certain quote-unquote perspective. He said it's very relevant to the defense, telling the court that the expert witnesses are very quote-unquote dangerous because they come in with quote-unquote an aura of authority. Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey said a document of bullet points from the presentation shouldn't be shown to the jury because it could be confusing and cause a sideshow. Judge Subramanian said the document wouldn't come in, but Bach can ask Hughes more about the training she gave. The document, now that I'm looking at, doesn't really say anything about anything. Lawyers debate asking psychologist about what a webinar she gave in 2015. Hey, Maura, good to see you. Good to see you, Maura. Just reviewing day 8 of the Diddy trial. It's been wild. Thank you for being here. We're going to review day 8 and 9, and then we're going to, hey, Spawn Dog, did I say hi? Hello. And then we're going to watch 2 clips that I wanted to watch about this, basically. Jury is asked to leave the courtroom for a few minutes. Attorney spoke to Judge Subramanian. I hope I'm saying that right. I should know that by now. At the bench, the judge asked the jury to go into the jury room for a few minutes. What was that about? Psychologist confirmed she hasn't gathered details about the specifics of the case. Defense attorney Jonathan asked Don Hughes to confirm she has not gathered detailed information about the facts of this case. Hughes says that's correct and added, I'm not rendering any opinions about a specific individual. When asked, Hughes said she's heard there's someone named quote-unquote Cassie in the case. Bach confirmed that forensic psychologist didn't hear Cassie's testimony or review records about her or the rug use. Remember, Hughes said earlier today that she's testifying as a blind expert to provide the jury with information about DV, grape, SA, and traumatic stress. She says she has not interviewed anyone connected to the case. Expert witnesses back on the stand. Okay, so she's back. She's back. Oh, who these like drawings? Who doing them? Oh, wow. Judge presides. Okay. Oh, so that's supposed to be the judge. The judge is back on the bench and the lawyers are in the courtroom. The jury has not come in yet. When the trial resumes, Don Hughes is aboard. Okay, we already heard. Yeah, she's testifying. I mean, they're pretty good. Way better than I could ever do. What the witnesses have said so far today. Okay, just a quick review. George Gannon, special agent in charge. Oh, okay, let's read this. I'm sorry. My apologies. Not George. Gerard. Oh, boy. So sorry. Gerard Gannon, the Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent in charge at the March 2024 search of Combs' Miami Beach home, resumed his testimony from yesterday. The jury saw photos of a sex toy and a pair of red high-heeled shoes that Gannon said were found in the master bedroom closet in that home. About 18 pairs of platform heels and 3 cell phones were found. Other pictures the jury saw included boxes filled with baby oil and personal lubricant, 25 bottles of baby oil, and 31 bottles of lubricant. Gannon, who was assigned to the HSI's human group at the time of the search, testified Tuesday about other items. Says they were found in the closet, including upper and lower receivers of AR-15s. The search was tied to the investigation. They also found rugs, a Gucci bag in the closet containing an assortment of pills. We did read that the Barack Obama stamp pills. They tested positive for Coca-Cola, Special K. Firearms, we know that. Don Hughes is a blind expert. She talks about, DV in relationships. It's uncommon. She says it's uncommon for victims to talk about the abuse around the time it occurs. Many victims will wait months, even years, before telling about what happened to them. Abuse victims often use minimizing and hedging language when disclosing the abuse. Hughes is an expert witness, having testified in cases including the 2022 defamation trial of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Oh, I didn't know that. And then the trials of Keith Raniere. Oh, and singer R. Kelly. Oh, okay. So she's legit. She's been paid $600. She's been paid $600 an hour for her work and $6,000 for a day of testimony in court. Wow, I didn't know that was her. The judge. I'm just impressed. The judge. The judge previously ruled Hughes could not testify about certain topics, including the idea of coercive control, nor could she speak to the credibility of the accusers in the case. I'm just going off over here. Poor Cassie, talking about sores in her mouth, the UTIs and everything. I know, MM Clark. I know. You know what? I'm in awe of her that she went up there to testify 8.5 months pregnant, girl. That is wild. I really love it. Now I have a few questions. Can you please tell me? Why? Why do you want me to do that, Torta? Let's see. Expert witnesses say her work in legal proceeding is different from how she approaches her patients. Dawn Hughes is answering a series of general questions from the defense attorney, Jonathan Bach, about how she evaluates someone in forensic capacity in the context of legal proceeding. It's different now than how she approaches the patient she treats in a clinical setting, she said. She'll typically administer a comprehensive interview, other psychological tests, and evaluate external information to offer a detailed analysis of someone. Expert witness explains why victims may not remember each specific time they were abused. So it's kind of backing, everything that everybody's saying, especially Cassie. Trauma affects memory. Victims retain core details while peripheral ones may fade. It's a very unique thing for each person and each situation they're in, she said. Some traumatic memories can be, quote unquote, fragmented. Victims often hedge and minimize when disclosing abuse. Expert witnesses say it's common for victims to wait months, even years, before disclosing that. We know that. And I am so sorry if you have been a victim of DV. It's terrible. She was a powerful witness. I know. She was. I love her. I always really liked her. We played a couple of videos of her last night. Or the night before, the last live on Diddy. But I was always a fan of Cassie. I'm not going to lie. I always really liked her. But it's so sad to see her in those videos where she's so young. If you go back and watch a few of them from like when she started, like, I have a Diddy playlist too. If you guys are not caught up, we do like basically during the day we cover true crime per usual. Well, it's always true crime, but like during the day we'll like deep dive. I haven't deep dive since the trial started, but I'm hoping to get back to it this weekend. And then during the nights we just kind of like catch up. Generally I have my own content, but with Diddy trial not being public, which is beyond me, that actually kind of really infuriates me, because like we should be able to see that. That's ridiculous. It's a trial. Like that's, I don't know. Let me know if you feel the same way, but I feel like we should be able to watch that. It's happening like in front of the whole world. Who cares that he's a rapper? Like, who cares that it's a Rico trial? We saw Young Thug. Wasn't that like Rico too? Was that Rico? And then wasn't YW and Melly, right? We have the same name. Beautiful music she made, yeah. I have mixed feelings only because of the privacy of the victims. Oh, okay, yeah, I see. I mean, they could have done it like, where they do like a closed thing for the victims. Like they could have done that too, right? And maybe just like blocked out the content, like the videos and stuff. Because I know the jury got to see like videos and photos of like the freak offs. It's because it's federal. The answer is both. Aging got a good answer. Yeah, I don't know. I have my feelings about that. Okay, let's see. Victims often numb themselves with drugs and alcohol, the psychologist says. Talks about passive and active self-defense. The drawings. Hey, at least we get the drawings. I can appreciate it. Sometimes they make me laugh a little, but I can appreciate it. They're good. Good, like I said, better than I can do. I'm not like an artsy person. Discuss both passive and active self-defense during her testimony. Basically backing everything Cassie went through and the other victims, develop coping mechanisms. She explains why it sometimes takes multiple attempts for victims to leave abusive relationships. She said victims could come back. She said victims could want to come back to the good version of the partner that they love. And Cassie even said she didn't hate him, which I thought was like, beyond. I'm like, wow. She said that she appreciated the love that was in the past. And I was like, after he was having someone urinate in your mouth, girl. No, I get what she means though. Like, she's a good person. A trauma bond can make a victim unwillingly leave a relationship. Financial dependence and lack of resources traps victims in abusive relationships. It's private harm. This is just like what the psychologist says. Oh, there she is. Dawn Hughes. Wow, I didn't know she was involved in all those other trials. She's a board-certified clinical and forensic psychologist. She always had training in trauma. The judge qualified her as an expert witness. Special agent confirms AR-15 rifles found in the closet were dismantled and unloaded. 6 people were at Combs' Miami Beach home when the search started, special agent says. 6 people were at Diddy's Miami Beach home when the Homeland Security Investigations agents came to begin the search. A music producer, a property manager, and other facilities personnel were put in handcuffs for law enforcement to identify and search. Gannon, who was a special agent in charge on the ground during the search, confirmed. The music producer was not identified by name. No weapons or paraphernalia were recovered on any of the people found at the home at the time. So we don't know who that music producer was. I am curious. Oh, okay. Chill out. My mom was a victim machine number. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Salas. My husband's music. It took him abusing me in front of my dad again. Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry you guys have to deal with that. Yeah, you know, I feel like it's a complicated thing. You know, every situation is itself and unique and different, right? Domestic violence. Hugs to you guys in the chat, though. And I want to know who that music producer was. Expert witness Dunn previously testified during Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. Okay. And we heard the R. Kelly one too. Combs' defense previously indicated they would call their own expert, forensic psychiatrist Dr. Alexander Barty, to counter the government's witness. Barty previously testified as an expert witness for the defense during the 2022 trial of Kevin Spacey. Okay, so they're calling all these big dogs, you know. Defense team begins cross-examination of special agent. Tenny Garagos is on cross-examination. Loaded firearm found in guard shack. Special agent testifies. A loaded firearm was recovered from a suitcase in the room in the property's guest house, which was known as the guard shack. On the witness stand, Gannon held up an evidence bag filled with the bullets recovered from the firearm. Jury sees more photos of items found during the 2024 search of Combs' home. The images shown in court included photos of boxfuls of baby oil and personal lubricant. Are these different ones than the ones we saw a couple days ago? If so, I'm going to have to find them. It's a lot of lubricant. In the master bathroom, agents found a box adorned with a gold plate bearing the inscription Puffy. Gannon testified. Molly was present and capsules containing the active ingredient in shrooms. The jury saw the photos in the bathroom. Okay. Found rugs in the Gucci bag. The Louis bag, the Gucci bag. The jury sees a photo of high-heeled shoes. We saw some of those to be from Diddy's closet at his home, Miami Beach home. 18 pairs of platform heels. Those are some bad heels too. You know what I mean? Hey, Chief. Hey, CW. Hey, Jules. I'm over there reading and ranting. Thanks for being here. Good to see y'all. Let's see. There were cell phones found inside a Balenciaga boot in the closet. Gannon testified another cell phone was seized from a bedroom in the house, according to stipulation read in court. Cell phones? What were the... Why was there phones in the boot? Nice boot. Gannon began testifying yesterday about other items he says were found in the closet, including lubricant, lingerie. Firearms. Okay. Witness testify. We already heard about that. Special agent back on the stand. They said he wasn't going to take the stand, and then he took the stand today. I'm a fan of Cudi, not going to lie. The prosecution just indicated that Cudi will not take the stand, but he did end up taking the stand. Cassie testified that Diddy was irate when he learned she was briefly dating Miss Cudi, and Ventura said she broke it off with Kid Cudi after Combs assaulted her and threatened more violence on her and the rapper. Diddy shunned P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever his name is, Combs, is in the courtroom, and lawyers for both sides are engaging. The jury's not in the courtroom yet. The judge is on the bench. Special agent who searched Combs' home will be back on the stand soon. Kid Cudi's going to testify. We don't need a recap of day 7 because we already did that. It's the 8th day of Combs racketeering. Yep. We saw from The Punisher. Okay, so basically that was day 8. So mainly we heard from the special agent and Don Hughes, the psychologist, which I think is important. I think it's important. I do. I think that helps. Hey, Natasha, good to see you, love. Okay, let me see. Let's pull up the next day, and then I'll watch 2 clips. I do really want to stream the trial maybe tomorrow. Oh, Monday's a holiday, too. What are you guys doing for the holiday weekend? Hey, Abuelita's Journey. I hope you guys will be online because I plan to be live that day. Let's see. Good to see you, Abuelitas. Tootsie Roll. Ew. No. I don't want no Tootsie Roll. Did I say hi, Jules? Hi, babes. Let's see. May 22nd, 2025. This is today, day 9. Hey, Irony. What's up? Good to see you. Let's see. This is day 9. A recap. Joshua Croft, computer forensics agent with Homeland Security Investigations. Croft testified that he extracted data from 3 of Ventura's laptops. One had been set to factory default settings, another to a login screen for a user profile under Frank Black, and a third laptop with dents and bends which wouldn't power on, he said. And Frank Black was Diddy's alias, right? Frederick Z. Moore, a general manager at the L'Armitage? Oh no, how do you say that? Hotel in Beverly Hills, California. Hotel records reveal name changes on Diddy's profile. The jury was shown hotel records for a profile that was initially created under Sean Combs in December 2006 and later changed to Jackie Starr in 2009, Zemore testified, before it changed multiple times thereafter from 2011 to 2012, he said. In 2019, the name changed to Ryan Lopez. Notes the jury saw from the hotel file on Combs. Please monitor outside his room, down the hall to spray air freshener. What? Always spills candle wax on everything and uses excessive amounts of oils. Place the room out of order upon departure for deep cleaning. Please authorize an extra $1,000 when guests stay with us to cover any room damages. When guest stays with us. Imagine that. Baby oil everywhere, just like pouring down the ceiling. Myla Morales, former makeup artist for Combs and Ventura, high-profile clients. Morales said she worked for Combs from 2000 to 2005 and stopped working for him because she moved on to other celebrity clients. Morales first met Ventura on a photo shoot in New York when she was 16. She testified and started doing her makeup regularly when Ventura signed with Bad Boy Records in 2007, saying Ventura was like a younger sister to her. The last time she did her makeup was 2021. After a party at Prince's house, Ventura and Morales went back to a hotel room around Grammy weekend in 2010. Morales testified. Combs made his way to the room where Ventura was, closed the door behind him. Yelling and screaming ensued. When Combs stormed out, Cassie was distraught with a swollen eye, a busted lip, and knots on her head. Morales testified. The makeup artist took Cassie to her home where she stayed for a few days, she said. Morales didn't call police because she feared Combs and for her life, she testified. Morales had a doctor friend look at Cassie who suggested she go to the emergency room for her injuries, but Cassie refused. The pair never spoke of the incident again, Morales testified. Wow. Morales had done around 8 media interviews about her knowledge of Cassie and Diddy's relationship and the 2010 abuse incident in the past year. She confirmed on cross-examination. She said she wasn't paid for any of the public interviews and hadn't talked to anyone about the incident in 2010 before her first media interview with CNN in May of 2024. Prosecutor Maria Combs says the first witness will be Capricorn Clark. We've heard a lot about Capricorn Clark. After Clark, prosecutors plan to have witnesses from the LAPD and Los Angeles Fire Department. Wow. The jury is dismissed. The trial will resume. The defense team starts cross-examine a computer forensics agent. Prosecutors have finished the direct examination of Joshua Croft, a computer forensics agent with Homeland Security. Defense attorney Tenny Garagos is now asking him questions on cross-examination. He confirmed that Cassie gave the government consent to search the laptops. He said he did not do a full review of the data. Yeah. I can't with Diddy. Data extracted from Ventura's laptop. He said one of the laptops had been set to factory default and another opened a logon screen with Frank Black profile. Former Sean Diddy Combs' executive assistant testified. The third laptop wouldn't turn on. The defense did some damage on cross-examination of Kid Cudi. Legal expert testifies. Rapper Kid Cudi's testimony that his car was blown up in his driveway while he was dating Cassie did not prove Diddy's was behind the arson, defense attorney said. In the cross-examination of Kid Cudi, defense attorneys were able to cast doubt upon the claims that Combs and his co-conspirators were involved in the car fire. The defense did some damage on the cross-examination because there was no direct evidence that Combs was involved. There was never an arrest. There was never a prosecution relating to that incident. Morris said Kid Cudi testified that he never saw who blew up his car or had any direct information about it. He just believed it to be Combs because he thought Combs was quite violent. The arson incident, legal experts say, is a key piece of prosecution's argument that Diddy ran a criminal enterprise consisting of violent behavior, trafficking, and the procurement of narcotics. Combs has pleaded not guilty, right? We know that. Computer forensics agent is called to the stand. So what do you guys think? Kid Cudi, did he do that? Did Diddy, in your opinion, do this to his car? And if you think that, do you think the jury will agree or not because of this reason? Like Diddy was in charge with it. They didn't have proof that it was Diddy, right? I don't know. I feel like Diddy guilty AF. Yeah. And the jury will still think that regardless, huh? I'm sure he did it. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I think he's done too, but you never know. There's more men on the jury too. There's like, the jury knows what's up done, really. See, I don't know. I kind of felt that way in the Karen retrial last year. I want to do a Karen live after this, but I thought for sure last year the trial was not going to end up how it ended up. So I don't know. It makes me nervous. Okay, let's see. Comes in. Okay, so the defense. Oh yeah, we already read that. The direct examination of Beverly Hotel's manager concludes. We read that. These are the notes that the hotel put. We already read that. Diddy had a different name. Prosecutor admits records from Beverly Hills into evidence. Hotel employees going to testify. Yeah, Zmore. Morales said she wasn't paid. She was very, okay, so here we go. Morales confirms she did not see what happened with Diddy and Cassie that night. The makeup artist testified she and Cassie spoke with one of her friends. She said she was very concerned for Cassie. Jury sees photo of Cassie wearing makeup that Morales did for her. Defense attorney Anna is showing the jury photos of Cassie Ventura from a music video shoot from the Wiz Khalifa song Black and Yellow. Milo Morales, who's on stand now, did Cassie's makeup for that shoot. The defense argued to admit photos like this to push back on Cassie's previous testimony that Diddy stifled her career and the freak-offs he allegedly orchestrated took time from her ability to pursue her career. Estavo told the court they want to show the jury that Ventura had to spend time upkeeping her appearance for work events, not just for the freak-offs. Makeup artist says she didn't call the police because she's scared of Diddy. Remember, Cassie testified last week that Combs beat her in the bedroom of a hotel following a party at Prince's house. Diddy was throwing luggage at me, just calling me all kinds of names. Ventura testified that she hadn't told Diddy she was going to be at Prince's house because she thought Combs wouldn't let her go. What did she... Yeah, I mean, it's so many people that say that they saw, Diddy put hands on her. Miles testifies she works for Combs until 2005. Kid Cudi said he met Cassie in 2008. They were friends until they started dating in 2011. The musician understood that Ventura and Combs had problems and they weren't dating anymore. But when Combs learned that Kid Cudi and Cassie began dating, Combs told Kid Cudi by phone in December of 2011 that he wanted to talk to him, the musician testified. There was a break-in at Kid Cudi's home. Directly following that phone call, Kid Cudi returned home, but Combs wasn't there. Instead, he found his security cameras had been moved, gifts he bought for his family were open, and his dog was locked in the bathroom, he testified. After the break-in, Kid Cudi spent the holidays with Cassie's family and received a few texts from Diddy, but the rapper was not interested in talking to him, citing that he believed Diddy was responsible for the break-in. He testified noting that he had filed a police report about it. Kid Cudi's Porsche damaged with Molotov cocktail. One morning in January 2012, Kid Cudi said his dog watcher called him from his home to tell him that his car was on fire. Looking at photos, Kid Cudi explained that it looked like the top of the Porsche was cut open, and that's where the cocktail was put in, causing further damage that couldn't be salvaged. Combs and Kid Cudi could meet in person. When Kid Cudi arrived to his meeting with Diddy, who was alone. The musician testified that Diddy was standing there, staring out the window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain. And the pair went on to discuss Kid Cudi's relationship with Cassie from start to finish, he testified. When Kid Cudi asked Combs about the damage to his car, Combs denied any involvement. Kid Cudi said on the stand, The pair ran into each other in 2015 at a club, and Combs pulled Kid Cudi aside to apologize. Kid Cudi testified, adding that he found peace with the situation with Combs after that. Kid Cudi described feeling played and upset, learning that Ventura ultimately went back to Diddy. Oof, that sucks. Because if she would have stayed with Kid Cudi, perhaps all of that would have not happened, you know? Kid Cudi testified that Cassie told him there was physical abuse in her relationship with Diddy, that he would hit and sometimes kick her, which bothered Kid Cudi. He said, but Ventura hadn't told him about any SA. No, with Diddy, I doubt that needs to be a reason. I was reading the comments. George Kaplan, a former assistant to Diddy. We read that part. Oh, wait. Kaplan infrequently carried cash for Diddy. He testified he recalls one time in 2015 when Combs security staff asked him to hold $50,000 while they were on his private jet, and a couple of instances where he had to get $10,000 cash from Western Union because he wouldn't hold on to it, he said, and would hand it to Combs after he picked it up. Kaplan testified about 3 instances where he witnessed violence from Combs, twice with Cassie in 2015 on a private jet, though he doesn't recall seeing any injuries on her, and another incident later in the year where he said he saw Ventura with visible injuries at one of Combs' homes. Kaplan testified to witnessing a third round of violent behavior where he saw Combs throw a number of decorative or red-green apples at another girlfriend. Wait, what? Testified to witnessing a third round of violent behavior where he saw Diddy throw a number of decorative or real green apples at another girlfriend. Unsure if any of them actually hit the woman. What the heck? Employment was once in a lifetime opportunity. Kaplan took special care to clean up hotel rooms after Diddy left them, he testified, because he was concerned hotel staff would try to sell content from his room, and that could hurt the music mogul's reputation. Wow. Kaplan gave notice that he was leaving in September of 2015 and finally left in December, he testified, after the incidents he witnessed. The central reason that I left my job as Mr. Combs' assistant was that I was not comfortable or aligned with the physical behavior that had been going on that I had seen pieces of over the course of a couple months, he said. He said he told Combs he left because his dad was sick, and Combs was extremely gracious. Kaplan stayed in touch with the music mogul because he liked Diddy and wanted to continue having a relationship with him. He said adding working for Combs was once in a lifetime opportunity, even though his moral compass pushed him to quit. Under cross-examination, Kaplan said Combs made his world so much bigger in such a short period of time. I believe that, Diddy's such a big celebrity. What we know about Christina Coram, Sean Diddy Combs' former chief of staff. Christina Coram, a former top executive of Diddy. Diddy's empire has been mentioned several times during testimony since the music mogul's federal crime trial began last week. Coram is a former chief of staff of Combs Enterprises. According to a 2021 Facebook post from Diddy, she was essential to his business life. Christina, aka KK, peeps everything in my life and my business running, Combs wrote in the post. She's been my right hand for the last 8 years and consistently proven to execute and get SHIT done. Don't know how I'd function without her. Coram came under scrutiny earlier this year when she was named as defendant in 3 civil complaints filed against Combs. These civil complaints are separate from Combs' federal criminal trial, and she has not been charged with any crimes. Coram released a statement in March to address the allegations levied against her in civil suits, saying in part, quote unquote, "For months, horrific accusations have been made about me in various lawsuits regarding my former boss. These allegations of my involvement are causing irreparable and incalculable damage to my reputation and the emotional well-being of myself and my family. I am confident that the allegations against me will be proven to be untrue. Remember, Combs is facing charges. Yeah, we know. Kid Cudi is off the stand and court is taking a lunch break. Oh, I like Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi says, I thought Combs lied in a meeting about fire damaged car. Kid Cudi testifies Ventura really shook after Combs discovered relationship. On redirect examination, let me touch it in, guys. On redirect examination, Kid Cudi testified that Sean Diddy Combs' employee Capricorn Clark called Kid Cudi from outside his own house that morning in December of 2011. She told him Combs came to her apartment and physically forced her into the car. He said Cassie was really shook that morning, worried about Combs finally knowing that we had been hanging out and that he had my address and he was probably going to my house. Kid Cudi said he and Ventura broke up in December of 2011 because the drama had become too much. He was concerned for her safety and his own because I know Diddy was violent, said Kid Cudi. Ventura said Combs hit and kicked her. Kid Cudi testified. Steele finished his cross-examination. Thank you so much, sir. Steele said, yeah, no problem, Kid Cudi responded. He was bothered by how Diddy treated Cassie. Imagine that. Okay, so let's see. Brian Steele asked Kid Cudi if Diddy's treatment of Cassie bothered him because he was in love with her. Kid Cudi responded, yes. Wow. He's in love with her. Steele also suggested to Kid Cudi that during this meeting with Combs, Kid Cudi's understanding was that he and Combs were the same position, having been played by Cassie, who was living a double life. The person who played you and the person who played Sean was Miss Ventura. True? True, Kid Cudi confirmed. Hey, CW, did I say hi? Hi. That's crazy. Kid Cudi testifies Ventura confided in him about physical abuse by Diddy. Kid Cudi confirmed that Cassie Ventura had told him there was physical abuse in the relationship, but she hadn't told him about any essay. He said Combs never interrupted the time he spent with her. Kid Cudi confirms there was no damage to his home after apparent break-in. Kid Cudi says Ventura first spoke to him about relationship with Combs in 2010. That's when she was telling me she was having problems. He said he understood that she and Sean Combs had problems and they weren't dating anymore. Adrian. Kid Cudi just stopped talking with Ventura after relationship ended. On cross-examination, Kid Cudi testified that his relationship with Cassie ended. They just stopped talking. After being in contact almost every day for about a year, she played you, right? And he said yes. Defense's DNA taken from Kid Cudi's damaged car belonged to a female. What? On cross-examination, Kid Cudi confirmed that DNA was collected from his vehicle after it was damaged in a 2012 fire. Defense attorney Brian Steele asked Kid Cudi if he was aware that the DNA results came back were from a female. Kid Cudi said he didn't hear any follow-up from authorities about the results. Correction, an earlier version of this post misstated when the car fire took place. It was 2012. Oh. Wait, so they don't know what female it was? Did he had a female do it, or was it just not even Diddy and it was another female? Combs' calm demeanor was off-putting, apologizes years later for past incident, Kid Cudi testifies. Kid Cudi described Diddy's calm demeanor during the meeting as off-putting. He said, I was upset to find that she had kind of went back to him. When Cassie arrived at the meeting, she explained, we fell in love and things happened. Wow. When Kid Cudi asked Combs about his car, he responded, I don't know what you're talking about. Kid Cudi pulled his hat out of a handshake and Combs asked him what was wrong. He said, wait, I thought we were cool, Kid Cudi recalled. He confirmed Combs that his word was that he didn't have anything to do with the damage to Kid Cudi's Porsche. Kid Cudi and Combs ran into each other at the Soho house in 2015. Combs, who was there with his daughter, pulled Kid Cudi aside and apologized. Man, I just want to apologize for everything and all that bullshit, Kid Cudi recalled Combs saying. Kid Cudi testified he found peace with the situation. That was the last thing I was expecting to get from him. Kid Cudi describes meeting with Combs, was standing there looking like a Marvel supervillain. Kid Cudi asked for meeting with Combs after the car fire. Team is on track to call witnesses they had planned. The Porsche with the damage couldn't be salvaged. Wow. Kid Cudi said Porsche could not be salvaged after the damage following the fire. He said law enforcement found a cocktail in the driver's seat, but once he arrived at his home, it was just kind of burnt up on the ground near the vehicle. When asked his reaction to the incident, Kid Cudi deadpan responded, WTF. What did they expect that answer to be? That's wild. Dre sees photos of Kid Cudi's car after it was damaged. Dang. That really is like a whole... In the morning in January 2012, Kid Cudi said his dog watcher called him from his home to tell him that the car was on fire. He said he was at his ex-girlfriend's sister's house at the time, about 45 minutes away. His friend sent him photos of the damaged car in his driveway before he got there. He said the jury is now reviewing the photos. On the witness stand, Kid Cudi describes the photos as the damage of the Molotov cocktail in my Porsche. It looks like the top of it was cut open and there was a cocktail put in it. Kid Cudi says he ignored Combs' text after the alleged break-in. I guess rapper Kid Cudi testified he spent the holidays with Cassie at her family's home in Connecticut. DIDDY texted him a couple times while he was there. Oh, wow. So he was like really dating. He was spending holidays with her fam. No wonder DIDDY was being a monster. I guess he was in the dark about things and wanted to talk, but at that point, post break-in, I didn't want to talk, Kid Cudi testified. You broke into my house, you messed with my dog, I don't want to talk to you. That's really freaky that Diddy did that. That really is freaky. That's insane. Kid Cudi said he called the police after a parent break-in. I wanted to confront him, I wanted to fight him, Kid Cudi said. Kid Cudi said then he decided to call the police. He recalled thinking at the time, I don't know who he has with him. I don't know what his intentions are. Kid Cudi said he filed a police report. He said items had been moved in his home. That's so creepy. Kid Cudi describes how Combs' employee was on the verge of tears as she told him Combs was at his house. Kid Cudi testified that after he picked up Cassie in December of 2011, they went to a nearby hotel and spoke on the phone with Capricorn Clark, one of his employees. Clark seemed very scared, sounded like she was on the verge of tears. Clark told the two that Combs had an associate were inside Kid Cudi's house, and she was in the car outside waiting for them, Kid Cudi testified. She was forced to go along with them over there. On the way back to his house from the hotel, Kid Cudi said he called Combs. When Kid Cudi asked if Combs was in the house, Combs said, I just want to talk to you. Kid Cudi says, I'm on my way, I'll be right down. I'm over here waiting for you, Diddy replied. Ventura called Kid Cudi distressed after Combs discovered their relationship. The rapper Kid Cudi says Cassie called him around 6 a.m. and told him that Diddy had found out they were dating. Kid Cudi said he was confused when she said that because he didn't think she was still dating Combs. She asked me to pick her up, said Kid Cudi. She sounded really stressed on the phone, nervous, scared, so I went to go pick her up. Kid Cudi says he knew Ventura and Combs had problems when he first started dating her. Ex-assistant maintains respect for Combs despite witnessing abuse. We read that part. Kid Cudi's testimony is necessary for prosecutors to help establish a broader conspiracy. Prosecutors need rapper Kid Cudi's testimony to support the argument that arson was just one of the crimes carried out pursuant to a broader conspiracy that Combs was at the center of. Cassie Ventura alleged in her testimony in civil lawsuit that her ex-boyfriend Diddy became enraged and threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's vehicle in 2011 when he found out Cassie was dating Kid Cudi. The plane incident and the Apple incident shook Kaplan tremendously. That was the other person, the assistant. Combs' former assistant says he desperately didn't want to testify. George Kaplan said he did not want to come here today. He confirmed that he doesn't have anything against Combs. So, just going back to Combs' staff, not the mogul himself, kept track of purchases. Yeah. His world was the size of the earth, Kaplan said, explaining that his boss was dealing at a high level with business situations around the world, and Combs had employees who dealt with the finer details of finances and ensured Combs had whatever he wanted. Combs' ex-chief of staff was disappointed and saddened by witness violence, Kaplan says. Defense attorney Mark Agnifilo confirmed with George Kaplan, a former executive assistant to Sean Diddy Combs, that Christina Coram, Combs' former chief of staff, was disappointed and saddened when he told her about the violence he witnessed between Combs and his girlfriends. Agnifilo confirmed with Kaplan that Coram wasn't indifferent and didn't endorse the violent behavior. Kaplan, when asked, said it was sad and the violence was horrible, but it was also sad, he said, because it compelled them to leave a job he liked and was proud of. The effect of Diddy's crimes are just so sad. And he had promised Cassie like a 10-album deal. Girl didn't even make, I think she just made one album. That's so messed up. Her dreams were just nothing. Thanks, St. Louis. Thanks for being here. Kaplan on Combs. This is a god among men. Former assistant said, I'm a young man and this is a god among men. Kaplan said, describing their dynamic at the time. Whoa. Says Diddy had infectious energy. Kaplan learned business lessons from Diddy. Yeah, I bet. The defense attorney asked Kaplan to expand on the positive things he said about his time working for Combs. Former assistant said he still carries business lessons from Diddy to this day and said he wouldn't have had the jobs and the success he's had if he hadn't worked for Combs. That is so true. I love that he's, saying that because it's true. It's true, he says. He testified he left because of his discomfort with physical behavior and that he told Combs' then chief of staff, Christina Coram, about the incidents, but when explaining his departure to Combs, Kaplan cited his father's illness. That was his reason for leaving. So he threw apples at someone aside from Cassie. Combs threw apples at another girlfriend. The incident happened in late 2015. Combs was very angry and he was throwing the apples hard, Kaplan said. She was trying to shield herself with arms as she moved away from Combs. Kaplan testified that he did not intervene, saying he was a young kid really trying to make it in the entertainment industry. Who the hell was he throwing apples at? He stacks. Kaplan left Combs' employment due to the discomfort. Okay. He saw Ventura with injuries at Combs' home. He witnessed Combs to be violent in the jet. The assistant testifies under immunity order. Kaplan said he understands immunity order requires him to testify truthfully and allow this testimony to not be used against him. Talks about holding cash for him. Oh yeah, we already saw that part. Judge rules Kid Cudi contest it. We already read that. I think that's it. So we're gonna watch a clip. Yeah. Okay. Who's supposed to be testifying tomorrow? Why apples? I don't know. That's why I was like, who was he throwing the apples at? Let me see. Okay, let's play a clip. I know a Kid Cudi arrived at the court smoking his cig. Kid Cudi is badass though. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna watch this clip.
Today we're talking about Kid Cudi's testimony, week 2 in general. But right now I want to bring on Elizabeth Milner, our long crime reporter, who is inside that courtroom for Kid Cudi's testimony.
Oh.
Now, one of the things I want to ask you,
wait,
Elizabeth,
there's no Diddy trial tomorrow? Oh.
Is we're reading the transcript, right? We're reading.
Yeah, I know Monday's holiday.
What was his tone like? Because I got to tell you, he was hitting one-liner after one-liner after one-liner. By the way, shows up in court, leather jacket, smoking a cigarette. I mean, this is Kid Cudi, major celebrity comes in. What was the substance of what he was saying? And I got to ask you the tone in which he was saying it.
Well, obviously, I didn't see the cigarette smoking part. I was inside the courtroom when this was going on, but it was a packed courtroom today, Jesse, despite it being very cold outside today, despite it even pouring down raining this morning when I came to court today. A lot of people were inside that courtroom because a lot of people wanted to know, what did Scott Mescudi, aka Kid Cudi, really have to say? So when he walks inside the courtroom, to your point, Jesse, he was very, very casual. He had on a leather jacket. It was a little bedazzled. He had on a white t-shirt. He had
I'm going to play it.
You kind of really don't see necessarily, especially in federal court. I mean, all the other witnesses have been in suits, even some of the escort witnesses. But for Kid Cudi, he just came in very casual. He just walked right to the witness stand, didn't pay Diddy any type of attention from what I could see of him, but he got onto the witness stand and swore that oath like he normally, like all the other witnesses do. And then that's when we got into the testimony. And let me just say, Jesse, there was so much testimony. I was just writing things down and down and down again, because there was really so much. And we knew about kind of the Molotov cocktail incident, especially because it was laid out in Cassie's federal lawsuit, right?
We're going to watch Nancy Grace in a second.
Explain it from his own words were just a whole nother level, I could say.
People were laughing, right? People were laughing when he was testifying because he made that one comment that he sees Sean Combs. He had a meeting with him and said he looked like a Marvel supervillain. Were people laughing?
No. Yes, people were laughing, but if you're going to ask if Diddy was laughing, it didn't seem like he found that joke necessarily funny, but there was definitely some courtroom laughter, even from some of the jurors who were in the box. They were laughing as well, too. But from what I could see of Diddy, it didn't seem like he had much laughter going on in that specific moment, which was a complete 180 from kind of his demeanor when George Kaplan was testifying, where he seemed a little more jovial. He was laughing along. But when Kid Cudi came on the stand, it felt like the smile just went down, and he had more of a serious demeanor and serious tone listening to Kid Cudi testify.
Thank you,
because, you know, Kid Cudi was providing some quite important pieces of damning evidence against Sean Combs.
Thank you for sending me, Jules. Thank you, Carmel. You do a good job. Oh, thank you, Car. We missed you. It's been a while.
I mean, talk to us about his direct examination. What were some of the highlights that you took away from his direct examination? Because the prosecution, in my opinion, I was talking about it before, they're calling him not only to corroborate, I think, the account of Cassie, but to establish some of the elements of racketeering, right? The underlying crimes of maybe kidnapping, arson. Talk to us about some of the big moments from his direct examination, and then we'll talk about what the cross-examination was like.
Is Diddy going to be found guilty?
Right, because the jury has been hearing about Scott Mescudi a lot, and they've been referring to Kid Cudi as Scott Mescudi during this. So seeing Kid Cudi in the flesh, I'm sure a lot of people wanted to know, what did he have to say about December 2011 specifically? Now, around that time frame, police actually responded to Kid Cudi's then home. He's no longer in that home anymore now, but they responded to a call about a break-in at his home. So he said that day actually started with a call from Cassie herself about 5:30, 6:30 in the morning. And
Thank you.
Cassie relayed to Kid Cudi that Diddy had found out that the two were dating, and she sounded kind of stressed during this phone call. So what Kid Cudi did was he picked her up. He took her to a hotel called Sunset Marquis. So that way it was a little safe for her to kind of hang out there and be at that hotel. But Kid Cudi at the time said he didn't think that Cassie was even dealing with Diddy at this point. Diddy had asked actually for Kid Cudi's address around this time. And one of the big moments was that Cassie was the one who actually gave Diddy Kid Cudi's address. And so
she gave him the address. He probably beat her for it. That really sucks. Imagine how things would have been different how much different it would have been if she would have stayed with Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi said he didn't know what Diddy was going to do.
Thing, right?
Then when he was at the hotel, he actually got a call, or he had spoken to Capricorn Clark, somebody that was Cassie's friend, but also somebody that had worked for Diddy.
She gave Diddy the address,
Kid Cudi was speaking to Capricorn Clark. Was speaking to Capricorn Clark. Capricorn sounded scared on this phone call, pretty much on the verge of tears, because it was Diddy, one of his affiliates, an unnamed person, and Capricorn Clark were at Kid Cudi's home. Kid Cudi was kind of describing that essentially Capricorn Clark was essentially taken by physical force to go with them to Kid Cudi's home while Kid Cudi wasn't even there. So Kid Cudi could verify that Sean Combs, aka Diddy, aka Puff Daddy, whatever we're calling him, was inside his home when he wasn't there.
Sounds like me.
Kid Cudi said that he actually went home after speaking with Capricorn Clark and just kind of rushed over there. Then we see an exhibit photo of the entrance of Kid Cudi's old home. It's the home of the break-in, and you see the front gate door. And he described his neighborhood at the time being as far as being very quiet, family oriented, and they had to kind of mention that he was driving a Porsche around that time. So Kid Cudi actually called Diddy while he was driving home, and there was some profanity here, so bear with me, everyone. He said, "Mother effer, are you in my house?" And Diddy said, "I just want to talk to you. I'm here waiting for you." And surprisingly, Kid Cudi explained that Diddy sounded relatively calm while he was on the phone speaking to him. So Kid Cudi thought his security cameras were working, and turns out he said someone kind of had moved them and angled them a little bit down, so that way I guess whatever was going on wasn't captured on that video. And they had moved them the opposite angle, and said Kid Cudi verified he wasn't the one who moved those security cameras, but when he got—
That's really, really insane. He moved his whole security cameras and his dog. Can you imagine the fact all those rugs had on Cassie's brain? Does not develop until 25. He's a monster. And just think about, I know she's strong and she's forever has a lot of healing to do. I think, trauma like that, it's like a forever type thing. I can't imagine that. Those memories. Well, unfortunately, from what she does remember, imagine going to bed every night and knowing someone urinated in your mouth. I'm not trying to be mean. I just think it's a lot to deal with. You know what I mean? On top of everything else. Oh, same. Where have you been? How you doing? I think it's a lot. I pray for her, but
home, Jesse. He said gifts were open on the kitchen counter. Stuff was pretty expensive. It was from Chanel.
One thing I did want to talk about too. Sorry for interrupting. We're gonna move on to Nancy Grace in a minute, but I needed to say this. Jonathan Odie. Where is he at? I heard he's gonna testify, and you know what? The whole world needs to apologize to him because everybody said that he was losing his shite, losing his dang mind in that hospital robe, the gown, whatever you call it. He looked crazy in that interview, and everything he said in that interview was true. I kind of want to play it right now in a second, but he said the Diddy thing with Cassie thing, that was true. And he predicted the Trump thing. Remember the whole thing with Trump? Both of those things were true. So it looks like Jonathan was not so crazy after all, right? Or maybe partially, I don't know. I
dog,
don't know.
surprisingly, was locked in the bathroom. Now, his dog normally roams around free like a lot of our pets normally do. I mean, my cats right now are probably wandering around. I would never lock them inside the bathroom while I'm out of home or anything like that. So I can understand why that really stood out to him as far as his dog being inside the bathroom with the door closed. But he had that dog for about a 2-year period, and noticed that after this break-in had happened, that his dog became jittery and was always on edge at the time. So Kid Cudi got back into his car, he says, and called Diddy because he wanted to fight Diddy. He wanted to square up essentially and just find him and fight him because he believed that Diddy broke into his home. And so he said after this phone call, he thought about the reality of the situation and what more could possibly escalate from that situation. So what he ended up doing is he just called the police. And when he had returned home, because remember, he was driving around looking for Diddy, essentially wanting to fight him, he says. And when he returned home, the police were there at his home. He filed a report. And then he was speaking with Cassie about the situation. And Cassie seemed pretty depressed about the situation, according to Kid Cudi while he was on the stand. And then he had said, because this is this was around December of 2011, and we know that shortly after that, Kid Cudi had spent the holidays with Cassie over at her family's home in Connecticut, and then they broke up shortly after. But the thing is, a few weeks later, January 9th of 2016, again, a few weeks after his break-in, his car caught on fire, or not even caught on fire. A Molotov cocktail was lodged into the driver's side of his car, of his Porsche.
That is insane.
Mind you. And we saw a lot of exhibit
I
photos
can't get over
from
it.
that Molotov cocktail being inside, or not being inside that car, but we saw the aftermath of the Molotov cocktail in the car. So we saw an exhibit photo of the damaged car. You could see a cut at the top of the roof from the Molotov cocktail. The roof was blown out. Kid Cudi had said his friend Chip, who is one of his best friends, took those photos because he had got a call from his dog sitter at the time that essentially his car was on fire. So he had rushed back home to see what happened. Lo and behold, this entire incident happened. So we saw more exhibit photos of the burned driver's side door, some smoke damage. Again, the whole of the roof, damage to the driver's side car, burned seats.
Corey Gartnett, shout out to you, says, hi, lovely Melly. Diddy. Is Diddy a baby oil bandit? Yes, I don't think he will be found guilty of RICO, but the lesser charges, yes. Really? Okay. Okay, I like to hear the opinions. Thank you so much for your support, Corey. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Interesting. Okay. A lot of people actually think that. A lot of people agree with that. I feel like. Heart mouth. Is there hearts in my mouth? Oh no. Take it. Thank you, Corey, for the super chat. I appreciate you. I'm nervous.
He said when he arrived home, he did see the damage to his car, and he saw the Molotov cocktail. He saw that burnt bottle on the ground right next to the outside of his car. So he said police were actually there when he had arrived home, and his car wasn't even able to be repaired after this fire. And so they had said that this cocktail was in the driver's seat, and his reaction, to your point, Jesse, earlier about him just being so casual while he was on the stand and his one-liners. Well, his one-liner for his reaction about a Molotov cocktail being lodged into his car was, what the F? And obviously I can't say what the F means, but we all know kind of from that. But as far as just the aftermath of it, there was this whole meeting at Soho House where essentially Diddy and Kid Cudi shook hands. Kid Cudi said that he didn't necessarily believe Diddy when Diddy had said, Kid Cudi had said something along the lines of, what are we going to do about my car? And Diddy said to Kid Cudi, I don't know what you're talking about. But as we ended the redirect, because there was some cross-examination in between that essentially Kid Cudi believed Diddy was lying about this because, you know, there were some objections thrown here and there, but he kind of snuck in there that he believed that Diddy was a violent person and was the reason behind this Molotov cocktail in his car.
Do you guys believe it was Diddy? I mean, they never charged him with anything, but it was totally him. Allegedly, my opinion. Diddy is innocent until proven guilty in this trial. Okay, let's watch a little bit of Nancy, and then we're going to watch it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to watch the Jonathan Odie.
Breaking news tonight, a bombshell.
Okay, I know some of you
where
don't love Nancy Grace, but she's really funny, and I actually enjoy some of her stuff.
crates of baby oil, sex toys, ropes, and guns with serial numbers scraped off seized.
He
Good
did
evening.
Prince
I'm
too.
Nancy Grace.
He probably has
This is
100
Crime Stories. I want to thank
victims.
you for being with us.
Is obsessed with Psy.
Dude, he started in like the 70s, right? Like the 80s. He will get prison time, but not much, but he's getting prison time and probably won't lose all his money and assets. Man, if he ends up getting off something like that, I will be pissed. Imagine, like, all the victims, they're probably going to be scared for their life. I love Nancy. Yeah, I want to know how this is being covered in the media. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it, baby. Tootsie Rolls just call him. No. I'm not a fan of the Tootsie Rolls.
Having the biggest
Tootsie Roll. The size
Tootsie
of a Tootsie Roll. About that
Tootsie
big.
Roll.
Itty bitty ditty. Itty bitty ditty, the Tootsie Roll. Sean Combs' Tootsie Roll. We are live at the courthouse, and joining us now, investigative
I'm dead on the
reporter
Tootsie Roll,
Lauren
please.
Conlon, star of Pup Crime TV. Lauren, thank you for being with us. A lot happening in the courtroom today. First of all, we kicked it off this morning with direct examination of a special agent, Gerard Gannon. What happened?
This morning in court, we finished the direct examination of Special Agent Gerard Gannon. He's with the HSI, and he finished showing us all of the evidence that was collected during the Miami raid of Sean Combs' house. And this is his house on Two Star Island. And what they seized from the house, they seized 2 defaced AR-15s. And these AR-15s, they were separated. We saw the lower barrels and the upper barrels. The upper barrels they were wrapped in a towel, and the lower barrels were in a separate spot, and the magazines were not with the lower barrels. However, the lower magazines were loaded, both of them.
Femme, it's my usual. It's my go-to. It's Charlotte Tilbury and Makeup Forever lip liner. I'll have to look at the shades and send them to you on a DM. I'll send them to you.
You know, a lot is being made of the number of agents at the raid, and I find that very disturbing. Sydney Sumner also joining us, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Sydney, I understand there were dozens of federal agents at the raid. So what? What's the issue?
Itty bitty.
Well, Nancy, agents went in feeling like they were going to be confronted by armed guards. That's what they thought they were walking into when they came into this house. They specifically waited for Combs and his family to leave before they entered to avoid any more confrontation. They only found 6 people at the home, a music producer who has not been named, a property manager, and a few other staff members. But they put all of those people in handcuffs to go into the home.
Give me that,
and there
Benjamin.
were 90 agents total, just about.
Whoa,
and
not
they
for
had
this.
people sitting out at the
Am I getting
water
in trouble?
to make sure nobody
I think I
tried
showed
to
these the
flee
other night,
into
but
the canal right behind his home. They had to come into this in full force, and they were right. They found ARs with several modifications, scratched off serial numbers. They knew they were possibly coming into a firefight and prepared for it.
You are seeing shots now of the Miami mansion that was raided.
Hey.
The feds even have the backside that is on the water, completely surrounded.
Let me get that house.
Sydney Sumner, you and I have covered a lot of cases together when we've gone on location and investigated a lot of cases. You know what? A gun. It makes a big man little and a little man big. You know, let's tell it like it is. Chris McDonough joining me, former homicide detective and star of The Interview Room, now on YouTube. Chris McDonough, you get an AR going? You get an M16 going? How many feds could they shoot down in about 30 seconds? Tell it.
It's probably full of us.
Yeah, a lot. And that's why these operations, you know, you start out with an op plan and you discover those vulnerabilities in relationship to officer safety. You know, where do officers need to be placed, and are they safe in those positions based on the potential threats that you could be facing?
They would be mowed down like an old gangster movie where machine guns are used. And, you know,
Nancy
you got to hand it to the feds, McDonough. They even had the backside covered that bordered on the water.
Sheesh, let me and Jules come to that house.
See some of Diddy's cohorts trying to make a getaway by water.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nancy, I actually had a case
Triple P, I hope
where
you got my
5 guys
email.
were mowed down.
I finally
within
emailed
10
you back last
seconds
week. Did you not
from
get
an
it?
automatic weapon. It was an SKS.
Check your spam.
You know, when you just said that, that put a chill down me, because I've had friends that were gunned down over nothing. Cops, LA, law enforcement.
I
So
really
when
love how
hear
dramatic
them
Nancy
in
is.
court
It's very
going
much me.
on and on and on about how excessive it was that 80 agents surrounded this mansion. They were armed to the hilt. Sydney Sumner, did I hear you say that the serial numbers were scratched off some of the weapons?
Yes, both of those assault rifles, Nancy, the AR-15s, the serial numbers were scratched through. So it's unclear exactly how they were obtained, if Combs bought them with the serial
Sydney,
numbers
I don't care.
or
I don't care if the angel Gabriel came down from heaven and dropped them in Diddy's lap. That is a serious, serious offense. McDonough, jump in. This is critical. You know why serial numbers are scraped off of weapons.
Absolutely, Nancy. And this tells us maybe there's a wider net here, right?
Can you imagine
what the feds
like having dinner with her every night?
Into the system called NIBIN, which is the National Ballistic Information Network. And they're going to see if these weapons
probably
are tied into any other crimes anywhere in the country.
Put him up. You think a bad guy is going to go to the gun and knife show down at the mall and buy a gun?
Now.
HELLNO. They get weapons like ARs, basically machine guns on the black market. Why is the serial number scraped off? Because that gun could be connected to another serious crime. I want to see McDonough. McDonough, you need to get real on this.
Oh my
God. Think they've ever found the gun that killed Tupac Shakur?
McDonough.
Or guns that are related to many other.
Get real on this. And now she's bringing up Tupac? Whoa, Nancy. Nancy's really trying to get
murders?
it.
No,
really trying to
they've
get
never been recovered. And if they were recovered, unless you do a ballistics test, you don't know if it's the murder weapon or the assault weapon. Why? Because criminals scrape off the serial number. It doesn't get much more serious than this.
No, you're 100% right, Nancy. And here's the other cool
when
part
I heard
about
that, I nearly did a backflip. Because that's what that means. When you
she's like, where are you?
The VIN number, the VIN on a car. It's stolen. I mean, think about it like this. We see movies all the time where criminals go and they try to change their looks. They try to have their fingerprints changed by scraping.
Abuelitas, I have 2 lives coming for you.
They'll do anything to hide.
Don't give up on me.
Evidence of a violent crime. And that is what scraping the serial number off a gun means. When I heard that, I forgot all about the baby oil and the Tootsie Roll, because that means to me these guns were illegal. Now I got to figure out why. What crimes, if any, were they connected to? I can't stress enough how serious it is that he had a cache of weapons, serious weapons. I don't mean grandma's Daisy rifle in the back of the closet wrapped up in a quilt. I mean this kind of weapon, nasty weapons. And why were those serial numbers scratched off? No,
she's so mad about that
reason. Straight back to Lauren Conlon. In addition to all the weapons, I mean a lot of weapons. What can you tell me about women's shoes with 7-inch platform heels?
And it was pretty wild to see a special agent hold up 7-inch heels in court that just happened to be patent leather and red. We saw Balenciaga boots that had 3 different cell phones in them. And then we saw a 4th cell phone in a separate room. We saw a Gucci bag.
Wait, I'm a little confused about that. Can we talk about that for a minute? Like, why were the phones in the shoe? Yeah, femme, I don't know how you do it, girl. I'd be in the hospital with broken ankles. No, but what were the phones? Like, what were they doing there? They were just like backups for what? I'm just confused. Oh, thank you, Clark. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. I'm so glad you're here, Clark. Yes. Shoe phone? I secretly wear ankle bracelets. Bev. I'd be like falling all over the place. Thank you, Clara. Love and appreciate you. Would you still go to Diddy party if you could? Yuck. Oh, but why? I just don't get why, like, the burner phone. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like,
that was
his rug deals.
a
Oh my gosh, I
rolled
didn't think
up
about that.
$100 bill, different types of.
But I thought he had like people doing it for him, you know? But you're probably right. It's probably for like some rugs, more rugs and all the oil.
Yellow,
the
orange,
oil.
pink, different powders. We saw eye drops, and later these drugs were tested, and they were confirmed to be coke, ketamine, and MDMA actually in an eyedropper. And there were actually 3 orange tablets they found with Tesla symbols on them. And
I did go to a party once in Santa Barbara, and they were like, no phones, and I was like, excuse me. This was only like, well, it was a while ago. It was like maybe like 7, 8 years ago. I know my best friend was still living at the time in Santa Barbara, so it was a long time ago. And I was like, heck no. Even back then, I was like, I ain't ever leaving my phone. Yo, I ain't going to that party.
And we also saw Xanax. Drugs were tested for Xanax. There also was a wooden box in the bathroom they found. And on top of that wooden box was a gold inscription that said Puffy. There were mushroom pills in that, and then a bag of crystal rocks that turns out was MDMA.
You know, Sydney Sumner, that reminds me of one of the first times we heard about a male escort. And look, I'm not the church lady. I don't care. You want to be with a male escort?
I ain't the church lady.
Get out. The point is bringing in prostitutes, bringing in sex workers across state lines is a federal offense. And that is one of the charges in the indictment. That's why I care.
Is that right, though?
Because more than one woman claims they were drugged out of their gourd and wake up with pain in their.
And it's a very different situation from the Young Thug case. But I mean, look at what Brian Steele did in the Young Thug. That was a crazy case, too. I still need to thoroughly cover that one because I did not.
Having
that trial was nuts.
Exposed to or participating in sex acts unbeknownst to them with these male sex workers.
Laundering money, CW.
That's why at the very beginning, Sydney Sumner, we heard that one male sex worker showed up, knocks at the door. Cassie comes to the door wearing scantily clad in lingerie and these heels. I guarantee you, it's not Diddy walking around in 8-inch platform heels. He has the women dress up in various outfits, and we see all those heels at his Miami mansion, Sydney.
That's completely correct, Nancy. And we heard a similar story from both of the male escorts that have testified that they believe they were coming for some kind of bachelorette party. And then this woman opens the door. She's by herself except for her purported husband in the corner of the room. And she's disguised. She's wearing some kind of lingerie, a matching wig, some kind of heels. And it just doesn't make sense. The defense's theory that they're saying that this is all just private sex matter for Sean Diddy Combs. There is no reason to own half of a Spencer store and just keep that in your home.
I love me Spencer's.
Purely for personal
not gonna
use,
lie.
where there's not more than one person involved. You're not having copious amounts of freak off parties. It doesn't crack.
The baby oil.
That's what we think, Sydney, but that's not what the defense is going to argue that Sean Combs thinks. Their theory their argument is that all of this was consensual, and I guess all of these women are lying, and Sean Combs is there's great a baby oil and Astroglide, and that all the women are lying.
Astroglide getting all the promo in this
now, hold on.
All the promo.
We've heard this week.
Get yourself some Astroglide, baby.
A Louis Vuitton bag, a huge Louis,
do what you want,
full of horse trank, pink. Plan B
that's
birth
getting believed
control
God. I was
pills, and
like,
of course,
Nancy, you there?
high-powered
Hey, Lord God.
Viagra. Diddy needs his Viagra. Okay, I'm going to have to go to our shrink in a moment about pills, crystal rocks that are, and what effect that has. You know what? I'll ask him right now. Joining me, Scott Johnson, forensic psychologist, 33 years addressing sex predators. ForensicConsultation.org is where you can find him, author of Physical Abusers and Sex Offenders, When I Love You Turns Violent. That's another book. Scott Johnson, thank you for being with us. What is MDA and what effect does it have on a person?
All right. So you have the basically by the street name, and you have people that become delusional. It's difficult to say no. At higher levels, it may cause a euphoric statement where people are kind of out of touch with reality, sort of delusional.
Molly makes you feel euphoric. Did y'all hear you had 20? No, like you mean like what? MMCAR, like aside from all that baby oil, like lotions and skincare and stuff, I could actually see that. Yeah, I can actually see that for sure.
But it's very difficult
to
say no or to resist when you're under the influence of these medications.
It's a stimulant with psychedelic properties. That's what it is. And if you drop it in one of these ladies' drinks, there's no telling what effect it's going to have on her. Lauren Conlon, in front of the courthouse, very quickly, Lauren, I want to ask you about what happened when we got to Diddy's bathroom of his mansion that was raided. The bathroom.
Right.
Yeah, and then we got to a bathroom where we saw two
Hey,
containers.
Jarvis, good to see you.
And in one container, there was 25 bottles of baby oil and 31 bottles of Astroglide. And I actually spotted 2 rubber duckies, a little bit confusing. And when they asked a special agent, was there more baby oil that you found? He said yes, and there was, because we saw a mini crate of baby oil during his direct testimony the day before. Now, right around when he was testifying, Diddy's sons, Justin and Christian, walked in, and Diddy turned around. He didn't smile, but he nodded his head at them.
Also, we learned a lot in the courtroom today.
Yeah. It
there was
makes you super awkward.
Lauren Conlon, a photo that no one could figure out what exactly it was. It was never broadcast to the open courtroom. What happened?
There was a sealed photo that was shown to the special agent and just the attorneys, and they made sure that all the cameras were off in the courtroom. The overflow room was off, and apparently, they said something along the lines of, do you recognize this photo? They seized over 500 photos from that home. Is this Sean Combs? Don't identify anyone else in the photo. So a lot of us were like, this seems like it could be something important, but we don't really know at this point. Yeah, and then Tenny Garagos just reiterated that the guns, that the AR-15...
Tenny needs to take it down a notch. Hey, White Dog, yes, thank you. Yes, we love Prison Guard. We do. We love him here. He's usually around here. Sure, he's probably
the way they were shown to the jury, they were shown whole, but she wanted to reiterate that they were in fact separated when HSI found them. When the HSI agent was going through all of this evidence, Diddy didn't really show much of a reaction. He sat back in his chair. He was very stoic. And occasionally he would look at the binder at some of the evidence, but not much of a reaction at all. The same goes for when Dr. Don Hughes, the forensic psychologist specializing in trauma, was testifying. He really had no reaction. And that's kind of been his vibe this morning.
We are live at the...
Okay. We're going to play the Jonathan interview. It's not very long. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. It's been some time since I've watched this. I hope this is the part where he talks the drunk Doral shooter. Are you guys ready for this? This is going to be wild. Oh, let me make it big. I've actually never seen this part. What? He was like trying to get Trump's attention, right? Basically what he was doing is, oh my God. Nobody told me that the noise was off. Like what? Earth to Melly. No, but oh boy. He was trying to allegedly protect Trump from the Illuminati. And he did all this crazy stuff, but sorry, that was on mute. Let me start over. Wait, I don't really like the music. Hold on. Oh, we might have to deal with the music. Wait, hold on, because I don't want to get flagged. With who am I unclear? Diddy? Yuck. Mm-mm. Okay, I'll play this one. Oh, they all kind of have music. Wait, why do they all have that song? I didn't realize that. My bad, guys. I don't want to get flagged. Oh, I think everybody does it with music so that they don't get flagged. Jonathan Odie, yeah. Oh well, let's just play it. Y'all gonna have to deal with it, the first part of it. The music. Oh my bad.
Stormy's story is bad news because it's embarrassing. That's why he's going crazy with that. DJ Kelly.
Okay, so like easy.
Dog bubbles.
The music is a little much.
Because it's embarrassing. That's why he's going crazy with that. It's not that he's laughing to the American people. He's embarrassed about Stormy's situation. Okay.
You don't have
Jonathan Odie.
Just my dog bubbles. My dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Diddy and Ross, which they're good buddies. Okay. They're gay.
Who?
Both. Diddy and Ross and Khaled. They're all gay. Okay?
DJ Kelly, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay.
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter. Okay. Right. I had sex.
Wait, I have to pause it for a minute because everything I said this earlier, everything he said was kind of basically true. Right? I was talking about, he says a couple other things in this, and I'm just like, I'm side-eyeing everybody now, like, okay. I just wanted to say that real quick, but now he's going to talk about Cassie. Wait, I'm gonna rewind that. I want to
Ross and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter.
Hamas.
Okay. Who supporter?
Hamas.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter. Okay. Right. I had sex
I
with
love
Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot.
Hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people. Okay.
You guys, he literally said that he did with Cassie and Diddy what is literally happening in the trial. And he talked about the president, and now he's talking about the I word, the Illuminati. Do we really think he's crazy? no, he's
I'm
speaking
from Africa, so I'm not a
facts.
racist.
Some of it might be crazy,
Okay, you my brother, so I like black people.
Okay.
My mom, I was raised by an African woman in my house. Okay. She was just a servant, but she was my she, took care of me.
Right.
So I love black people. Okay. I had settlement with Sean, okay, against Donald Trump, okay, because he used to belong to their side. You understand? He used to belong to that illuminated group that I told you about, which is an elite group, okay, of individuals which run the whole country. All right.
All right.
Basically, what I did you tell him did you explain to him about the message? Or
Please elaborate.
Thursday, to Friday, basically, I went to Donald Trump. I went through the gates. I took I jumped the fence and I took the American flag and I put it in the front desk and I blew the chandelier. Basically, what I did that for is to transmit a statement to the American people and to Donald Trump that we're not accepting any more corruption and abuse from their system of friends. Okay? Donald's still blind because he thinks that he let Hillary off the hook and she's okay. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm trying. Okay, keep going.
I know. We all thought when we saw this, we were like, this man is cray cray. Like, I'm shook.
It ain't like that. The CIA, and then they want to do the same thing that he did to JFK. Okay.
All right.
Why? Because they want the United States to fall. They've already been creating a state of chaos and confusion in the United States.
He doesn't talk about
the
doing
United States to fall. Donald was against their agenda and won the presidency. Okay. He did get help from Russia. He did get help from the Saudis. He also got help from a lot of Republicans in here, which is the electoral college vote. And he got a lot of support from Republican people.
Hillary belongs in prison.
Okay. The elections, they weren't fair, but he wanted the electoral college vote.
Right.
Which is the Republican vote, basically. He got him through, okay? He didn't get the popular vote. Okay.
I hear you.
So basically, the interior, he made it. He's president-elect by the electoral college.
He's testifying, right? That's what I heard today.
So he made it. The situation is that he still hasn't kicked out the corruption from the system. He's letting them stay due to money, basically. Because they all like making money. That's why they're all billionaires, etc. So there's only this select few that run the country. Okay. So I know you may or may not. I know you're gonna believe me. You have what's called the Illuminati.
Illuminati.
Okay. Yeah, Illuminati. Okay. They've made it in dance. Basically, what it means, illuminated.
Okay.
Okay. They do satanic ritual abuse, which is basically CIA mind programming techniques to their own family, kids, etc.
Why do I feel like everything he's saying is pretty much true? Does that make me crazy too?
Are in the group.
Okay.
And they bond that way. Okay. So they do sexual.
You guys believe in the Illuminati?
They do animal abuse, killing of animals, blood sacrifices, and everything in the Bohemian Grove.
Yes, no.
Okay. The Bohemian Grove, the bushes go there.
Is it true?
George Senior and George, both of them are in the same agenda.
I believe him.
They cousins with the Clintons. Okay. So is Donald Trump.
Well, aside from
He's
the
also
whole
a distant
thing.
cousin. So if you see, there's a direct correlation of the presence of the United States being bonded between family ties. Okay.
Gotcha.
All these family ties, while not go back to the same place. The royal family in England.
You know what? I was listening to something today too. Just a little thing. Jay-Z is one of the celebrities that has private jets that can fly intercontinental. Does that mean anything to you guys? It means something to me. Where is Jay-Z at? I believe you believe. Okay, you guys all think it's true. Yeah. Hey, Debbie. Good to see you.
Okay. The family here
Don't the
of
name.
the Illuminati are descendants of the royal British
Nice,
family.
smart dog. Nice.
Okay. They have children between themselves.
Pie Hooks Gaming, what's up?
Because it's they have that issue. You understand? They want like superiority of the race. Mm-hmm. They see it that way, but it really is. It backfires them because it makes
my opinion. Mad at me.
You understand? When you have sex with someone in your family, your kids are not gonna come out small. You understand? They're gonna come out dumb. All right. So Donald turned his back, but he's still trying to negotiate a peaceful way out, and they have an agenda to kill him. Okay. Example: if you look at the Illuminati card games. Example, okay? You looking at the game, Illuminati card game?
I'm not familiar with it, so help me understand.
It's a card game.
It's a card game.
That tells exactly what their agenda is.
Gotcha.
It's called mental pre-programming. That means that you predispose already once you play this, your mind is already predisposed at this happening, and you accepting it. Okay? So they have a picture of Donald dead in that game. Oh, okay. All right. I'm not crazy.
He said that he have a picture of Donald dead in that game. What? He's saying stuff that's on the. This is nothing. I don't remember watching this entire thing, but a lot of people think that the naughty stuff is a conspiracy. I don't know. I kind of believe some of it. I do.
They have a picture of Donald. But they also had the Twin Towers. They had everything on there. Okay, from A to Z. So it's kind of like a hidden agenda, which they try to make it open to our eyes, but we really don't see it. We're so busy working.
It's kind of like hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people. Okay. I'm from Africa, so I'm not a racist.
Okay.
Okay, you're my brother, so I like black people.
Okay.
My mom, I was raised by an African woman in my house. Okay. She was just a servant, but she was my she, took care of me.
Right.
So I love black people.
Okay.
I had settlement with Sean. Okay. And he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous. They land on the contracts. It's these attorneys, which are Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes. Ben Mercedes worked for Bad Boy Entertainment for 4 years and worked for Hillary Rodman for 5. Okay. When
I forget he spills all that.
Threat of death on me. Okay. I don't have it, but I can make it available under secrecy. That means that I wouldn't be liable because I don't want to be getting framed for anything. Okay. Right. I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a sex slave. Okay, for them that's what I was. That's all. All right. I caught herpes, and I came back and I sued him for the herpes and won.
In case you missed it, he just claimed he was a SEX slave for Puff Diddy and Cassie, and he would masturbate while telling Odie what to do with it. He would conduct business by phone, and then he says, wait, I have to go back to this. I need to go back.
Slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all right? I caught herpes.
He caught the H word. Whoa.
And I came back and I sued him for the herpes and won. But
yeah, he did.
Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so.
Why do I believe him?
They gave it back to me accidentally, and it's possible I threw everything out. It's possible I can produce a copy.
Gotcha.
It's possible. I'm not sure. Now, how does this lead to War Star from?
Okay.
The Mercedes family, Ben Mercedes, that works with Mark Garagos. Mark Garagos used to be Michael Jackson's attorney.
Yeah, out in Los Angeles.
Yeah. He had a.
Did you say Garagos?
He drugged Michael and they OD'd him, okay? He didn't overdose. They OD'd him because they keep the royalties.
They OD'd him. MJ. I don't.
Of the music. Michael alone made $860 million alone last year, okay, in 2017, which who keeps that royalty? The music companies. Who represents the media?
Yeah, so Corey, that's right. It is an older clip. That's why I wanted to show it though, because I believe Jonathan Odie is about to testify. I believe I heard that. Poor Cassie. Yeah, I hope not. Totally believe. It's true. Cassie testified he was part of their escapade. Yeah, when we first saw this, we were like, he's crazy. I don't believe him. He's in that hospital gown. And now look.
In the United States, most of them, Mercedes stars. Kenny Mercedes, which is Greenman Mercedes shot out of New York. Okay. So what they've been doing is they've been promoting a hate agenda against Trump. So people hate him, okay, because they know he is very alpha, okay, very alpha in the sense that he likes money, he likes to make money, and he likes women, and they know they want to defame in certain ways with Stormy, with other people, because they want him out of the government, okay? But it ain't happening because it's too smart for them. You understand what I'm saying?
You're trying to, right?
Don is intelligent. We have a similar type of intelligence and overview of things. The only thing is he's not seeing that Hillary is a distant cousin of his and Obama have a different plan for him. You understand? No offense with Obama. I love each and every American, but he was part of that 9/11 agenda. He's a CIA agent, an ex-CIA agent. That's why there's so much identity issues with Obama. Who knows his real name? They say what?
Wait, he's in jail, Jonathan Odie? I thought he was going to testify. As much drinking and thinking what he did. He's crazy and held people hostage in a post office. Is that so? He had a tape. A DIDDY tape? Oh, and that's why they were chasing him and everybody thought he was nuts and losing his mind, right? And I thought he needed to be in like a mental hospital. Or did he really lose his shite? Exposing the truth though, and I was told I heard he was dead. No. I thought he was going to testify. Maybe it wasn't true. I just heard that on some true crime channel. I'm not sure. Let's see. I thought it was in a hotel lobby.
He was born in Indonesia and he's also born in Hawaii. Nobody knows. Why? Because he's an ex-CIA agent.
Okay.
Basically, Osama bin Laden never existed. It was a creation of the CIA, and it was Obama in a cave talking shit and looking like an Arab. And then they bombed the Twin Towers. Okay? So my problem is I'm here to expose each and single one of them to the American public for the crimes committed on September 11th, 2001, and therefore.
Oh, he is incarcerated.
Okay.
Now tell me though how all of that led up to.
So he can't testify.
Thursday night, Friday morning.
Well, I've been trying.
Oh.
My settlement put me in a box. Basically, I couldn't talk because otherwise I'll be sued. So I let it be, but they've been following me, and they've had Mark Garagos has had the FBI on me, has had other agencies looking at me and spying on me, okay, because they want to set me up.
Wait, this is important. And he keeps saying Garagos, and that's Diddy's attorney, right? Garagos? Is that who he's referring to? Yes, he's mentally ill, but that doesn't mean that everything he says is true. No, I believe what he's saying. I believe it. I believe a lot of it. Because he got caught like doing something crazy, and they thought, yeah, he's still alive. He was I thought he was in Miami-Dade. Is that what I just read? Yeah, Miami-Dade County awaiting trial on attempt murder of law enforcement officers. But he is testifying, so they are going to bring him to the trial, right? Yeah, they can subpoena from prison. Yeah, I heard that he was going to be testifying. I really hope he does. Okay, let's listen to this. I'm not going to interrupt this part because I want to hear that he's saying that you guys are saying that he was being stalked for evidence and stuff. I totally believe that.
Has had other agencies looking at me and spying on me, okay, because they want to set me up as an extortionist. Like if I was extorting Sean for money. It's wrong. Basically, what happened is Diddy and Ross, which they're good buddies, okay, they're gay.
Who?
Both Diddy and Ross.
Wait, I want to rewind it a little bit. I missed some of that.
The FBI on me has had other different
Sorry, guys. I want to hear what he said about the FBI having the garage.
Well, I've been trying. My settlement put me in a box. Basically, I couldn't talk because otherwise I'll be sued. So I let it be, but they've been following me, and they've had Mark Garrett has had the FBI on me, has had other agencies looking at me and spying on me, okay, because they want to set me up as an extortionist. Like if I was extorting Sean for money. It's wrong. Basically, what happened is Diddy and Ross, which they're good buddies, okay, they're gay.
Who?
Both Diddy and Ross and Khaled, they're all gay. Okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay.
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worry.
Hamas supporter. Okay.
I don't know.
Basically, he's Arab, Palestinian. Okay. The Ciroc agenda, okay, is basically binge drinking poured out on a yacht. They promote binge drinking and drugs.
Gotcha.
The hip hop agenda was laid out by Obama during his last presidencies purposely. That's why they had Tupac killed, because when they kill them, you gain fame. When your record sales go up, and then people listen to your lyrics and everything, and then you become famous. Okay, that's how they do it. All right. Tupac's still alive.
Yeah.
He's in Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
He says Tupac's still alive and he's in Cuba. How much have we heard that? Right, all the conspiracies. I don't know. Could he be speaking the truth? A couple of other things he said played out to be true.
Basically, what happens is following. The hip hop agenda is an agenda to move drugs all over the United States. You need to reform the DEA. They move all the dope. Okay, all the dope on private jets, which don't get screened by
that you guys were gonna hear it.
By the
I wish to talk about it.
They move what's called high grade powder MDMA. They move cocaine and they move liquid cocaine in the bottles too. Okay, so they put the liquid cocaine in the bottles and they move it. I've seen the liquid cocaine. I've drank it myself. Having sex with Diddy and Cassie. Okay.
Oh my gosh. He just said all the baby oil and the drugs.
It's not good. He drinks it all the time. All right. He calls it Gigi. That's liquid cocaine.
All right.
How do I know there's a conspiracy against Trump? Because it's in the Illuminati card deck. He should look at it for himself.
But let me bring it back to Thursday night, Friday morning.
Sure.
I mean, how did all of this? I think I better understand what you're saying. But what I want to know is how did that prompt you? How did that make you do what you did that night?
Well, we're getting to a point that his assassination is coming. Okay, because it's an agenda.
And someone did try to take out Trump.
That they perpetrating on the media and the news. Example.
Remember?
Madonna is a client of Mercedes, Ben Mercedes. He has her go on public TV and say, "Oh, someone should." I thought so many times of going up and blowing up the White House.
Gotcha.
Okay, they gave her that little message. That little message is Hillary's message. Okay, because Hillary sends it to Gary Ross. And Gary Ross gives it to Mercedes, and they give it to Okay, now
I get all of that.
You're gonna need an internet so I can show you. If I show you the website, you're just gonna go like, oh fuck.
All right, help me understand you.
Sure.
How old are you?
I'm 42. I've been through all my life. I've had a great life. I've settled $4.125 million with Diddy. Okay, was he scared that I was gonna expose him?
I don't want to talk about Diddy right now. I want to talk about you. Help me understand you. I mean, obviously we never met.
I know.
I don't know you from Adams. I'm trying to, we'll get back to the event.
I got like 30 years ago. I'm good.
Where you from?
I was born in South Africa.
What town? What city?
Newcastle, the Valley of 1,000 Hills. I'm from Zululand. I'm what you call a Zulu.
Okay.
I was born there, and then my parents were Latin descent from Argentina. They escaped the military dictatorship in Argentina.
Pinochet, all that?
No, the Argentina one. Yeah, my Pinochet was a Chilean one. But
Okay.
I can't remember. It was like a military dictatorship. I can't remember the names.
All right. Well, how many years did you stay in South Africa?
12 years in South Africa, and I stayed 12 years in Argentina. And then I came here to the United States, and I've been here 20 years since.
Okay.
18 years.
Parents, so you got a mother and father?
Dad came and visited me, died here of cancer. And mom went back at home, I think, over visiting with my sister in Europe.
Okay. What year did your father pass away?
2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. Did that have any effect on you? I mean, what
Not
was
really.
your relationship like with your father?
Well, I suffered a little child abuse when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I believe he's not my real dad, but it's okay,
All right.
I sometimes maybe that's what he thought. I don't know.
Okay. All right. And your mother, where's your mother right now?
She's in I think in Argentina or traveling in Europe.
Okay. What's your relationship like with her?
I'm just still stuck on that. He said everything was real about the Diddy stuff. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit.
My ex-wife is Tara Trotwine. I told her she's an attorney.
They hired him for the week off.
Where she live?
In Boca Raton.
In Boca Raton?
Yeah.
Okay. Does she know anything
I'm just
about
confused.
this? Have you talked to anybody?
Yeah, she kind of knows. But what happened was they've been tapping me so much on my phone through intelligence. I figured out how they tap their iPhones.
Okay.
And basically, it's gone all the way up. And I seen even Hillary and all this. They've been watching me. They've been watching my
come back to me. We'll get back into that in just a minute. Let's just stay with your family members and everything.
Sure.
I'm just wondering if you talked to your ex-wife or anybody.
I thought no about what happened about this.
Yeah.
No, this was only me. It was premeditated to give a message to the American public, a wake-up call. It's called a wake-up call. It's like when somebody rings a bell for Americans to wake up. Americans like you, like me, like all of us here.
All right, you said premeditated, so you thought about this. You thought this through?
Yeah.
How long have you been thinking about it?
It's easy. That's like...
help me understand.
Anne Marie says, I think the FBI just raided Diddy's houses to get the tapes of them pouring and leak for them not to be caught. A lot of people think Diddy will walk because he was kidnapped and he heard so much. And I showed this picture the day in the car the other day with the man they hired. Oh.
And I don't.
Well, really?
When you say premeditated,
2 weeks after this video was released, they said he died. Yeah.
You've been thinking about doing what you did.
They saw him and hired him.
Well, when I say premeditated, it means that
Thank you,
I went and did it myself as well.
How do you made it?
I didn't think about it like for Okay. I didn't plan it for him.
Oh, okay. When you say premeditated, I thought maybe you planned it out. Like
I ran my own personal investigation, which I figured out myself that this is going on, and we're still having issues of corruption at the highest place in our government.
I get that. Now, when you say you did your own investigation, what'd you do?
Basically, out of all the times I went and saw the attorneys, did my research online, and I found out the whole puzzle of their organization.
Okay. All right. So you didn't tell, well, before I ask that question, so you have an ex-wife, you got a girlfriend, you got anybody that you talk to? I'm trying to understand if you got somebody that you interact with on a daily basis.
Yes, I have a good friend.
I don't think he's talking about Diddy anymore, but
his name is Louis David Gonzalez, and we go to the gym every day. He has nothing to do with what happened Thursday. Though he's a witness, he's gotten shot at.
He made a secret tape
and he's a witness that Ross came and threatened me at my house post-settlement. After we settled, Diddy sent Ross, and I asked him to go see if that was Ross and confirm his identity.
So Gonzalez, he can back up what you're saying about P. Diddy and Ross and all that? Okay, all right.
Oh, wow.
And you said Gonzalez didn't know anything about what you did? You didn't talk to him before?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
He knows nothing. He was actually worried about me. He's like, hey, what's up? And I told him, look, man, what's happening is he's trying to cool things down, but then the feds have been harassing him.
Is that how much he got?
The feds.
They
have a big file of me like
the
this.
The feds are harassing him, he said.
Because P. Diddy and Mark Garagos have been trying to set me up and lock me up as an extortionist, asking for money. It was not so. My settlement was breached, and my settlement terms is one was called peaceful enjoyment. That means that if I went to your house or I did something, you'd have to pay me the full amount.
I get all that.
So I've been going through that since like 2012. So.
All right, and Gonzalez knows about that. You talked to him about that kind of stuff?
I talked to him alone because he's the only one that knows since the beginning. Gotcha. And then my ex-wife, she knows she saw the contract. She has a contract, a picture of the contract. Tony Trama. You need to call her and ask her for a copy of the settlement agreement.
Okay, all right. Where do you live at? Where's your house? Or
really close. In the 177, just on the road from Trump's. You see, I want you to live close to Trump because I know they don't like being close to Trump. You understand what I'm saying? They don't like that. So that's why I went to Trump's.
Okay, all right. You got a roommate? You live alone? Okay, all right. How do you get around? You got a car?
Yeah.
Motorcycle, things like that? You got a Jeep?
It looks like a military Jeep.
Okay. Where is that Jeep right now?
Police have it in custody.
Okay, all right.
Or Oprah's or Bay's. Yeah. I need to know.
Tell me about your employment. What do you do for work right now?
Okay, right now I'm self-employed. I work with minerals and gemstones. With my own company called Pegasus Mineral Trading.
Okay.
That I inherited from my father. Previously, I've been.
Well, before you go any further, do you have like an actual office someplace? Do you work from home?
From home.
Okay, so you pretty much like online.
Yeah,
business.
Yeah, but I get busy 2 seasons a year, like really busy. I get September and February, so it's like 15 days nonstop each one, and then it's like just slide it.
Well, where I'm going with that is if you work from home, do you have a computer? Do you work on the telephone? How do you do business?
What I did is I threw away everything I had because.
Well, before you go, what is everything? What did you, when you say you threw away everything, what's that?
My documents, everything I had, because I know they've been trying to follow me. And I just don't want my personal info getting,
I got you. No, I think I understand. But I mean, what I'm trying to understand is how can you have a business and not have a computer or work the phone?
Oh, I had it. I just threw them away the same day. I threw it all away.
You threw what away?
My computers and everything.
Well, where do you throw them away at?
The garbage.
And your garbage?
Yeah, because they've been spying on me through that. They spy you through your computer, through your iPhone. They spy you through your TV screen, the cameras. Even if they off, they manage to do it. It's called intelligence. The CIA is available, can do anything.
Let me make sure I understand you now. Now, when you say you threw them away, you threw them into like a dumpster, or did you just throw them away in your trash can and you threw them away in the dumpster?
In my trash can.
Okay. Well, exactly what was it? Just like one computer?
No, everything. My documents, the sale agreement, my computer, everything. I threw the TV, everything that they had been surveilling me on, I took it off because I wanted them to be in the dark.
Okay.
Because they've been watching me. So now they
some things are like pretty out of the world, but
it needed to be done. And
but what happened, yeah, it's crazy, right?
His presence is correct. And he needs to know that these people are running him into the ground, running the country to the ground.
All right, we're going to come back to that. I'm not done with that, but I was trying to help you and I'm trying to understand you, your daily routines, your business, that kind of stuff.
But I'm very different.
No, I really thought when I first saw this, I'm like, this man is kind of crazy. But I mean, I always had my opinions because, like I said, I was like an Aaliyah girl, a Biggie girl, a Tupac girl. So I always kind of was not a fan of Diddy. I didn't like him when he made that that song after Biggie's death. I can't remember the name of it. But everyone thought he's nuts. A lot of what he's saying now, I'm like, whoa. Is Jay and Bay going to be leaving soon? Yeah, on his private jet that he can fly anywhere in the world.
I'm very intelligent.
I was listening to
we all are very intelligent.
Like a video that was talking about how there's like handful of celebrities that can drive or fly their drugs to specific places.
Okay, most of
they can go anywhere.
Industry,
like intercontinental, international.
Okay,
I agree with you.
I can tell you right now, they have you popping pills and they poison you slowly so you die. Okay, that's the truth. You don't need any medicine. You're strong. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Your body's called, the only way to come out now is called immunotherapy. That's all you need. Vitamins, immunotherapy.
I'll be missing you. Thank you. Right. Thank you, Mo.
about my work ethic.
Oh, yeah, I'll be missing you. You better not be missing. You're staying here. Oh my God, I love you guys.
In the United States. Well, do you want to know all of them, or
as much as you can tell me? Help me understand.
You
said you work for Pegasus.
They
right
saying
now.
Jay set up Diddy. You see how long, how fast it took them to shut down that case that was going against Jay-Z. His people, the Illuminati was on that. I'll be missing you, he says. Yeah, exactly. Guess who went to Bali? Right. Yeah, Sting Money for getting a life now. Yeah.
All right, but you threw away all your stuff?
Yeah, because it's a family business. It's really simple. It's just like, I just need to use square cash.
That's right. That's right.
Pegasus?
I worked, I took a break off during the summer, I did my research. I took care of my dad. He had died. Before that, I did real estate investments with Section 8 properties, but I started getting harassed. So, because they threatened to sue me, I sold the properties. Before that, I worked for RG Electronics. I was the top producer, the top salesman on TV in 2012, in the last quarter. Before that, I worked for a company called MA Labs, out of the Rock here in 87th. They computer components manufacturers. Before that, I worked for S&T of America, which is Micron out of Idaho. They semiconductor artificial memory chips, DDR memory basically. Before that, I worked as self-employed trading electronics, South America. Before that, I came here as an internship as an accounting manager for the Pier House Resort in Key West, Florida.
Okay, all right. So pretty much all those jobs were in South Florida?
Yeah. Ellen's quiet now, huh? Leo, where's Leo at? And hey, I said this the other night on the last live a night ago. Where's Ashton? He left too, huh? Europe? Yeah, right when he knew this was going to get deep. And we saw him in that white party clip. Hey, maybe he's innocent. Who knows? Nah. Too much death around him that I'm questioning.
In Miami area.
Sorry, Ashton.
Where'd you go? You
used to like ya.
I went to University of Salvador, which is the same school as the Pope we have right now. I studied travel industry management. business in travel industry management. But then I went into the
Also,
electronics.
later.
Okay, all right.
That's what's been involved.
Okay, all right. Do you have anybody that you can think of that you used to work with that you trust? Anybody, any former coworkers? Anybody that you would reach out to if you ever needed help at any of those jobs?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm pretty self-confident. I mean, I have my head on my shoulders. I know what I'm doing.
Okay. All right.
And I mean, I know you all think this is bogus, or you may not yet understand it. But look, I got 3 bullet holes.
I got you.
I did this for the country. Trust me, I feel great.
Okay.
And I'll do it any day because at least I avoid a president getting shot, and at least I avoid other dummies trying to fuck up our country. Excuse my language.
No, you're good, man.
And my people, because my Americans are my people.
Okay.
I have issues with when people.
Ellen was done during.
All right, tell me. All right, let's go back to Thursday night, Friday morning.
What are the Kardashians now?
Before you did what you did,
I love me some of the Kardashians.
What was your state of mind? I mean, what
it
were you
was
thinking?
cool as ice. I went there. I knew what I was doing. It's not like I didn't know what I was doing. I knew what I was doing, and my point was take down the flag and put it in the front desk and call the police. Shoot the chandelier.
We saw Kimmy with those photos.
Getting
with
Arabia, Saudi Arabia money.
All right.
That's all because Obama is behind him. So is Hillary. Okay? So he's got to stop taking the Arabian money because he's letting everything slide. He's letting Obama stand right behind him, and so Hillary. He knows who they are.
Mm-hmm.
He knows who they are. So does the CIA. Maybe the Secret Service doesn't because you all work for the president, correct?
Right.
You only work for the president.
Correct? Some other people, but mainly the president, right?
Exactly. So the problem is you all.
He's like, yeah, you're right.
The CIA. And then on a different circle.
Well, let me rephrase that. We don't work for him. We provide a service to protect him.
Exactly. That's why I want you to talk, and I would like this to be told to Donald Trump. Tell him I'm a supporter of him. I love him. I don't hate him. I know what his issues are. He has an issue right now with him that's bugging him a lot. It's called Stormy Daniels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it bugging him so much? Why is he lying to people?
This was a Diddy live, and then it turned into this.
People about Stormy.
And how does that make you feel?
Talking about this.
I know the truth. I think it's a dummy situation. I think he should put his pants up and explain to the American people what's the problem is. Stormy was sent by Gervas to Avenatti. Okay.
Right, he's no dummy.
Because I know Christopher's been talking to Gervas for years. They've been doing, my attorneys here, Mace Laura, they've been doing business. They've been getting referrals for years after I cut the deal with Diddy. They made friends and they be doing deals.
I understand all that.
They threw me into the feds
well,
for conspiracy of something that I had not done. I was claiming breach of settlement. Now, the way the story is, it works as the following. Donald has an issue. His doctor prescribing Propecia. You know what Propecia is?
It's the skin or the hair?
Hair growth thing.
Right.
Okay? So basically what happens, when you take Propecia, your dick goes limp. But limp because you're taking Propecia. He has air issues. His doctor, birthday.
What?
Slipped the Propecia out, okay? So for him, Stormy's story is bad news because
Small Dog, thank you for gifting. Thank you. I appreciate you. Christine, welcome to Mellyverse. You got a gift and membership from Small Dog. Thank you, Small Dog. I appreciate it.
It's embarrassing. That's why he's going crazy with that. It's not that he's lying to the American people. He's embarrassed about Stormy's situation, okay? He paid her, and she's coming back with some bullshit stories, okay? Trying to expose and defame the president so he falls and collapses.
Okay, that was wild. Where are the missing children? Hey, do y'all remember Diddy's stepdaughter? You know, the one that he did that clip with? You guys know who I'm talking about? What's her name? What happened to her? Where's she at? I need to know. Hold on, let me look up her. It's going to bug me. I know one of you guys is going to know in the chat. I know you guys know who I'm talking about. Allie, that's who it is. Is that her name? Allie? Yeah, that sounds familiar. Ava. It's Ava. What the heck? I just thought of her right now. Ava Baroni. Ava Baroni is her name. I want to play the clip. And then we're going to end it. I'm sending you guys off to bedtime. Okay, I'm going to play like 1 second of it. Because you know who I'm talking about. And this was wild too. This was like a Diddy thing too. Crazy.
What's your last name? What's your other last name?
On a little girl named Ava Grace Baldwin.
Y'all can't see this is trafficking.
She was just 6 years old when she was reported missing from her elementary school in Texas.
The tooth fairy will come and get it.
Oh wait.
It's breaking news.
On the streets.
Wait.
And then Papa.
So they think she was like a missing child? When he kissed her cheek, she looked so uncomfortable. Should see her now. What am I missing? Has she done like an interview or something? He adopted her during the C word. He needs attention. I'm just wondering how she was treated, and I would like to know. We have questions, Ava Baroni. They're saying that she was like a different... She was adopted daughter. Why haven't they said anything about her? And she just didn't care about, like his kids had been at the trial, right? I have questions, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure you guys knew. Wait, she's been missing. She said, yeah. He bought her. Yeah, that's what I heard. Was homeless. That's what he said. Okay, we're going to have to like dig deep into this. Deep. As I whispered. Oh, we're going to do a little ASMR. Tomorrow night, we're doing a Melly After Dark. I know it's been a while, and I've been slacking on the Melly After Dark. Like a dance party after dark. Okay, I'm gonna play this clip really quick of Ava Baroni. Okay, let's see. Oh, my bad. Your B-day. Your B-day is tomorrow. I was saying, yay! Happy early birthday. So like in 2 hours for me.
Ava Baroni Combs. Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child.
On the streets. And then Papa Combs.
I did some digging around and found some old photos that go back many years. She was with him when she was very, very young. So she is, in fact, his adopted daughter. Some are saying this woman in the background here is her mother, but nothing is confirmed. You can see she's been with him in interviews, hanging out with Diddy's daughters. She was seen everywhere with Diddy's daughter. Here's another one. And
I totally missed that.
Here's a few more. So it shows that, yes, indeed, they spent time together and they grew up together. This is, in fact, their sister and Diddy's adopted daughter. However, I found a video that is so suspect. I want you guys to check it out and tell me what you think.
This is my life. This is because I am a great father, but I'm sleeping with the girl. Tell me, who do y'all have a crush on? Tell Daddy true.
I don't know about you guys, but that video and the way Diddy's acting raises.
That was sus. Happy early birthday, Yasin. So oh wait. Oh, because it's already, yeah, see, it's still Thursday here in California. Scripted? Oh, scripted. Concert? Yep. Disgusting, disgusting. Yeah, we're going to have to look into that a little more here on Milliverse. For sure. He'll never see the light of day. Yeah. Lily, I miss you. Yeah, I think Diddy's going. Yeah, I think Diddy's done. I think there's a lot of factors that are like that are helping him. Like the whole correspondence thing, like I think all that correspondence needs to be uploaded into the docket. I believe the judge ordered it. Not sure. I wish we could watch the trial. I know it's federal. I get it. I get it. But it's a celebrity and it's so highly publicized and it's a bunch of celebrities. And now I'm questioning everything in my life I've ever heard about Diddy because of all of it. And then that Jonathan Odie thing is really blowing my mind too. A lot of that was true. And I'm curious what's going to come of this trial. Lily, I'm glad you made it. We miss you. She was awesome. And yeah, I guess we're going to deep dive that. I'll try to have one ready by Saturday. Yeah. I appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you hit the like button. Lots of new subbies tonight. Subscribe. Members get the After Dark content. We will be live a lot this weekend. It's a holiday weekend. I'm catching up. We're doing a Karen Reed marathon, Melly After Dark tomorrow. I have 3 deep dives to do on other cases. Brian Koberger, Delphi, 3 other cases I'm not going to say. Lots to cover. I've been behind because I've been just working away. But tap that like button on the way out. Tap it, tap it, tap it. Yeah. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you, Abuelita's Journey. Thank you for being here. Make sure you stay safe, stay blessed. He bought Usher and he bought Bieber 48 under. Bieber lying. And Usher? I like me some Usher, but I don't know. Questioning. No Diddy. Wait. We will be covering Diddy, but no Diddy. I get what you're saying. And I'm questioning a lot of these other rap stars, hip hop stars. We'll see. We'll see. Hit the like button on the way out. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.